The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. We can tell me how we can do it together. When we look at the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PNP. People said the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting higher, wonder when it a go stop, comrades. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. We can tell me how.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party.
The scale of dealing with anti-corruption issues. So there is a learning curve that we are going through. What is important is that the government supports the development of the institution so it can accelerate very quickly on that learning curve and provide the resources so that they can move very quickly on the learning curve, and that the government does not intervene or interfere. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs. Why you come to me with that foolishness, you know? You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right start that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.
Hello, welcome. Blessed, what is today? Thursday. Blessed Thursday to everyone in television land. Blessed Thursday to all our silent supporters, and blessed Thursday to everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate the continued support. Remember, guys, when you come in, thumbs up the live, share us out if you can, and if you're new to the channel, please show us some support by subscribing. That will be greatly appreciated. Today's topic is, we did it before, we will do it again, with your host Mystic Sensation, and we're expecting Melting Pot to be joining us today. Did you check? Yeah. Okay. All right, so thank you again so much, and let us continue praying for everyone who was affected in the western region of the island by it's still on. If I'm talking, okay. If just continue to pray for them, because we still have persons without shelter, persons who are still without food and water, not getting the adequate help that they need. Let me just welcome those in the chat. Beverly, Lacey, Maureen Vassell, Marina, Carla Evans, Christopher Wright, Pamela Oko, welcome. Bless up yourself. Without any delay, I am going to hand over to Baron.
All right. Thank you for that, honey. Right. The last time we have been here, right, we spoke about the Jamaica Labour Party kleptocratic government, right? And we talk about checks and balance and oversight and all of the above. But again, we are seeing evidence after evidence repeatedly and consistently, right, that proven to be so in terms of this particular government, right? The slow response as it relates to Hurricane Melissa, right? And it was not only just Hurricane Melissa in terms of the slow response, also Hurricane Beryl. And the government is depending on its PR machine, right, to go out there and spin, right, the lies, right, and continue to deceive our people. I mean, press conference after press conference, right, and believe you me, people, right, no progress being made because the government is depending on, right, its PR machine, right, to do the work as opposed to them going out there and do the physical task, right? They speak about it, right, but they are not doing anything, right? They speak about, right, an oversight committee, but it's still yet, right, not put in place. And all the lies and it is just terrible, terrible as it relates to the Jamaica Labour Party government. But we have some some topics that we are going to be touched on, and we are going to highlight the facts with evidence as it relates to this particular administration. Now, we have topics like Buju versus Darrell Vaz, right? We'll be getting into that, of course. Desmond Mackenzie continue to deceive the people. And this is what we are talking about, their press conferences that rigged with lies. Now, we have HAJ, Andrew Scheme, housing project. Of course, we have to extend the discussion with that. I know that Lonesome had touched that subject, right, in depth, but we are going to also be touching that subject as well. Of course, we will be touching the Oversight Committee controversy, right, and get into that. And when we talk about the Oversight controversy, believe you me, it's as if the Jamaica Labour Party, right, vloggers, right, they have no ears, right, they are not keen listeners. So we are going to make it clear for them this morning. And of course, meteorologists give strong warning as the water table continues to rise. So this Thursday morning, we have some quite intriguing topic that we are going to discuss, and of course discuss them with facts. My Jamaican people, let me say this, right? We are dealing with a kleptocratic government that we have to have all of our eyes on, right? Make sure we put them under adequate checks and balance. And to the fact that now we are pushing checks and balance on them, right? Obviously, you see they are awkward, very awkward, right? In terms of, you know, the hurricane preparedness, the aftermath, and right, what been happening, right, in terms of not wanting to give transparency and all of that. So we'll be covering all of that. But first, we want to get into Buju Banton situation, because that situation has a lot of ripple effect. A lot of ripple effect. And again, as it relates to CCTV evidence, because this is interesting, you know. And I want to point out some things that, you know, might be, you know, you have others who are not pointing it out into showing you that Andrew Holness administration, it's all about what they can, how they can utilize, right, the aids, the multiple aids that coming in the country, converting those aids to their personal use. And this is no joke in terms of what I am talking about. I am going to show you and expose the weaknesses of the government. And what I'm going to show, right, they can't oppose it, right, can't. Now, let us hear Buju frustration and just imagine as it relates to, you know, all, you know, entertainers and everyone who have an art, right, and decide that, okay, all right, we are going to, you know, all hands on deck, right? Jamaica is our place. We love Jamaica, right? There's nowhere better than yard. And when I am saying that, it is true, right? And trust me, I endorse that because I travel, right? I travel to the United States, right? Canada and elsewhere. So I am talking from a wide experience. When we tell us that Jamaica nice, Jamaica nice. And guess what? We have to fight for this because this Jamaica is really a land of paradise. But our government is a reprobate. So let us deal with that. Now let us put up Buju Banton and let us hear what Buju Banton has to say. And let me say this. Remember, you know, this government, they have no respect for, you know, our entertainers, right? No respect, right, for, you know, people who are representing us, right, in very high, right, ratings, like a Bolt, right? Because if they can, you know, steal Bolt money, what they wouldn't do, let us speak the truth, what they wouldn't do, right? So let us hear what Buju Banton has to say. Man upset, man, the man begs.
This girl a ranky. One little nasty crowbait girl come talk about the barrel them now have no marking. Right? Them come on a cargo plane done said. Right? And no thieving brother and thieving family now work at the fucking airport. We don't understand. So when things are do things on them hard, you think up, what do you think up here though? You think it's a terrible long life we up here live? I want them Luman life that up here live. We're working hard and we're trying to do things to the country and the cargo come. Right? First and foremost, take forever to give with the cargo. Right? And when the cargo come out and we start looking to the cargo, Starlink missing, stove missing, all kind of ras bomber, ras clotting, blood clot missing, and the barrel them half empty. See, nothing ever happened to Kingston. There's no reason for nobody at Kingston for your teeth, nothing from the people of Jamaica. You understand me? But the sound still have a dirty, crowbait, reprobate, blood clot mentality to break my fucking heart. You understand me? I should have come down and come go to some scandal back because of that on the blood clot deserve. You know? You see it? Right? When I look no clout and we know that the people in a dire straits. So we have a thief and poor people and thief and people not go through such a hard time. We're not blocking at the barrel. Blocking at the barrel and so we answer a question. Where is the oversight? Where are the security measures? Because you can't go through the airport and fart. So how somebody leave the airport with so much things, all these things where these packages come tampered with. Right? And on think that nice? A whole lot of people up here, so Barrington flying, it's a plane that come to Jamaica, come go to things and crash. So Barrington make 2 flights, them fly Monday and them fly Tuesday. 2 big rascal cargo plane. All if you know, say, when you open the package, everything tampered, everything. What I do? What do really deal with? We can't continue, sir. We cannot continue like this. It's painful. Because we're up on the battlefield, I'm and even I'm from man, I run up and down and I meet people left, right, and center to secure something for my nation. Right? Oh, if I not secure, when it just hurt my feelings, the blood clot. I don't have no idea. I not talk the common people, I talk the thief, the one with the Norman man, the airport. Okay.
Well said, Gargamel. Right? And I can understand, oh, you know, you are feeling to know that, you know, you put your hands on deck, right? But the Jamaican government, Gargamel, right? You are not too surprised, Gargamel. You are not too surprised. This is the government that you are dealing with. Points to prove they are kleptocratic. I have been saying it all along. Now, let us hear how Darrell Vaz, right, responded to the situation. Amazing. I mean, with gross arrogance. Trust me, lack of intelligence. Let us hear how Darrell Vaz responding to Buju Banton.
Buju, hear me now. You and me know one another a long time. Thank you for all the efforts for the relief for Hurricane Melissa for the people of Jamaica. But if you have an issue, you can reach me. Give me the information and let me investigate it. To go public on social media and bring the effort into disrepute is not helping anybody. Give me the details, give me the specifics, and let me deal with it. But I don't rate how you're handling it. So, brethren, do better than that, man. We have had over 300 and odd relief cargo flights landing in Jamaica from Melissa, and I have never received one complaint from any of the international organizations and charities, much less the governments of other countries. Through Minister Grange, your handlers of the flights were in touch with me from yesterday morning all day until they got through. So I'm not understanding what this is about.
All right, let us take it away. And let us respond to Daryl Vaz.
But you hear me now?
Daryl Vaz, you're lying out of your teeth. Lying. Buju Banton complaint, right, is not the first complaint as it relates to people missing things from out of their barrels that they send home. Not the first. And I'm not talking about, right, hurricane disasters, whether Melissa, right, or Beryl. People have been complaining as it relates to their things being tampered with and items being stolen. You have several history of that complaint, Daryl Vaz, and you know that. Several. Now, when you came out, Daryl Vaz, I'm going to teach you professionalism. When you came out and you said that over 300 and odd, right, reliefs had come through the airport and you haven't received one complaint, are you implying that Buju Banton is lying? Let me ask the question. Based on what you said, that over 300 processes through the Norman Manley International Airport, and you haven't received one complaint, as if you're implying that what Buju Banton is saying is lying. This is where you understand Mystic Sensation is going to expose you now. Now, Daryl Vaz, you'll be the Minister of Transportation, right? Now, let me ask you a question. Before you come out and speak as a professional person, because I see this is the way how you and Andrew Ownless arrogant, right? Why didn't you do an investigation first before you come out and speak? Okay. You are the person in charge. You have received an allegation, right, as it relates to Buju's allegation. Why didn't you, the first step of a professional person is going to investigate. To do what? To verify, right, and make sure that you validate before you run out and speak. Isn't that what you're supposed to do, Daryl Vaz? Let me ask a question. And so then, when you prepare to speak, you will be speaking based on facts and not just speaking because you believe that, okay, you're speaking from emotions. You believe that, okay, Buju shouldn't come out with this. You understand? And highlight your party. You understand, as a kleptocratic party. Your party is a kleptocratic party and everybody know that. So then, okay, upon receipt of the information, let me say this to you now, Daryl Vaz, and let me ask a question. Does the Norman Manley International Airport, likewise the Donald Sangster Airport, do they have CCTV cameras? This is where now I am going to expose you. Are these airports have CCTV cameras? I would presume yes. You cannot have, right, these national airports, right, and you don't have CCTV cameras for investigation, checks, and balance. So yes, you have CCTV, right, cameras. Now, I personally right, is an operator of CCTV system, right? I am fully savvy on CCTV system. Now, Darrell Vaz, if I were in your position, one of the first things that I would have done, right, would be now consult, right, the manifesto as it relates to when that particular cargo came in, right? And that's why I said, okay, you should have done your investigation. Maybe you should have called Buju, right, and to try to get some information from him rather than coming out publicly, right, and speaking. It is your responsibility to call Buju. It is not Buju's responsibility to call you. Buju have lost his items, frustrated about his items, going on social media, right, and venting. He has a right to do that. You as a professional person, right, now has to do now immediately run an investigation. And within that investigation, you need to consult with Buju, right, to ask him the necessary information as it relates to, right, might be that particular cargo, the day of the arrival of the cargo, and hear what you do now. Because this is what I would have done, because I operate CCTV. So the date and time, right, can simply input it into the CCTV camera that you are using, right? You can fast track in terms of your search, right? Within half an hour, now, I am not asking you this. I am not asking you this. I have done investigation partial, I even go back to a year, and it takes me less than half an hour to get into the system, right, and extract the information in terms of what I want. It takes me less than half an hour. So then, Darrell Vaz, what you should have done, get the information, right? Go on the CCTV or instructed someone to go on the CCTV. Date and time, right? You can fast track as it relates to searching that CCTV system, right? You are going to see, right, the persons who made the move, do everything, right? You are going to see the actual event of what transpired. You are going to see it. I am an operator of a CCTV system, of multiple CCTV systems. So, sir, you have that. You have that at your disposal. You have that. You can't come out and tell anybody that you don't have CCTV access. And that this information, you can take less than half an hour to find out what happened. But guess what? You are not going to do it. Let me tell you something, Darrell Vaz. You are not going to do it. Because you have already known the people who involved. And might be, let me say this, might be you involved as well. You're not going to do it. So, Darrell Vaz, the next time when you run out, and for persons who will be questioning Darrell Vaz and this, ask Darrell Vaz about the CCTV. Simply. Ask Darrell Vaz what happened to the CCTV information. When we're talking about your government, right, and your kleptocratic behavior, and this is what we are saying, right, as it relates to what we are talking about in terms of Andrew Holness shifting ADPEM under his responsibility. And I spoke on internal, right, things that need to put in place as it relates to checks and balance. Do you have a proper PI system? I mean, it seems like a lot of people don't understand what I'm talking about. Perpetual inventory system to track these inventories, right? And here it goes to show you what you already lined up to do. What you already lined up to do. So, Darrell Vaz, whenever you're coming back out to address this again, speak on the CCTV evidence, sir. We want you to make sure you've done an investigation regarding the CCTV evidence where you can highlight that to us. And so then if Buju Banton is lying as what you try to inject, then you will have the evidence. But if you cannot present the evidence, it simply means that you collaborating with the theft. And answer me, I ask you that, Darvas. Tell me to tell you that. If you don't come with the CCTV evidence, right, to validate that, okay, here it is, that Buju Banton is saying that, okay, all right, people gone into his cargo, remove items. You understand? You can show this. If you want to oppose Buju Banton and you want to embarrass Buju Banton and you want to show the nation that Buju Banton is lying, come with the CCTV evidence and show people that, okay, there it is. There was no one that went in there and done that. I am betting you, Darrell Vaz, you can't do that. And you're not going to do that. So you stop your bullshitting in coming out and try to, you understand, spin this. It cannot be spun. Your government is a kleptocratic government. And that is my point of proving, right, that within the Jamaica Labour Party, there are a bunch of criminals, real criminals, no joke. Real criminals that continue, you understand, to breach and break laws. Continue to cheat the people, including robbing an election. You are criminals. Everything I'm saying here and the evidence coming out is showing Jamaica and showing the entire world that your organization is a criminal organization. It's a government that gone rogue. From what you killed Philip, not just now. The Jamaica Labour Party is not a government that deals with nation building. From the 80s coming up, it's a government that have done terrible things to Jamaica. Now, let us proceed and show you. I am going to show Jamaica how vicious this government is. And even when the truth is staring them in the face, they rather to spin it. My Jamaican people, can you believe again that Desmond Mackenzie, look, let me speak this. Can you believe again that Desmond Mackenzie came out and doubled down with a vicious lie? Press conference, in this press conference, that's why we say that the press conference rigged with pure lies. Rigged with pure lies and spinning. Even when people know the truth, Desmond Mackenzie went on the press conference and telling lies. I am stunned. I am stunned that we are even listening to them. Hear the lies. What Desmond Mackenzie telling Jamaican people and double down with this lie. Hear this lie, people. Hear this lie.
We are going to now hear from Minister Mackenzie, the co-chair of the committee that has been established by the Prime Minister. And he looks so handsome today. Good morning, Minister.
Morning, Minister. Morning, Minister Vaz. Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to start off commenting on the aspect of the shelters and to just also speak quickly to the fact that in the daily newspapers and in the media, specific reference has been made to a number of shelters, especially in Westmoreland, about the lack of basic needs, supplies, and lack of security. I just want to give the country the assurance that all the shelters that was outlined by the new Director General of ARPEM, is fully equipped, not just with food supplies, but with adequate security water. I must point out that one of the problems they are experiencing at the shelter is that during the days,
and take him away.
a lot of people go to the shelters.
And take him away.
They don't actually stay at the shelters, but they go to the shelters.
Now, my Jamaican people, have you heard what Desmond McKenzie said? Telling Jamaican people that all the shelters are fully equipped. The government is responsible for over 800 and odd shelters. And the government, local government, Mackenzie, is saying to Jamaica that all the shelters are fully equipped. Hold on, people. Let me just take this call up and then we get back to that. Yes, Carl, you're on Mystic Sensation Live. Go ahead.
Yes, good evening to the mystics and to the viewers. Yes,
Blessings.
Mystic, I want to add something because I work in logistics, and let me tell you something. You see what Darrell was saying?
Yes.
Mystic, nothing not go like that.
Exactly.
You see, when you pick up something or you drop something off at the airport, in this case, it was outbound. So when it reaches at the airport, what's supposed to happen is that even if your broker is assigned to it, the bill of lading come with the cargo. The broker go take the bill of lading, them are go scan everything. Not if it's 100 pieces, them are go check say it's 100 pieces and then the weight, right? And then it go store in the government system because it have to store somewhere, right? And then now when the receiver come for it, they gonna go boom and scan out back everything. So them receive 100 pieces, which was on the bill, then it's 100 pieces, right? So if him can't tell we when him say it was released to the broker have to tell we now who is the people that will move it with the forklift to store it in the warehouse or to load it onto the truck for go it where it's going.
Okay.
He can't give us those information because that's how that system run. But the reason why this system in Jamaica run like that is because they want it to run like that. In America, for example, if you bring something to go drop off or to go pick up, when you go in, is you and the broker. And when they bring your package, they make sure examine it and they look at it and they say the same way it was received is the same way it was given in good condition.
All right.
When you go to Jamaica and you go pick up your stuff, them open it before you. When you get it, it's not in the same condition as when it was shipped. And these things has been happening finally the 80s. Because me, I tell you, me in my 40s, and my grandaunt, them used to send things, and my auntie, them start sending things, and at the same problem, and no accountability. You ship car and the car there, the wharf, and the rim's gone.
All right. Stop right there, Carl, and I'm glad for you to call this morning. I just want to ask you one question. The ports, do they have CCTV system?
The ports have CCTV.
Okay. Okay. And let me ask you the other question. So the CCTV operators can able to get whatever information being required of. Am I wrong or right?
You're right.
Okay.
And even back that up, Mystic, the port has security where has to work inside where the cargo comes in.
Okay. Now, so when we are talking and we are saying that the Jamaica Labour Party administration is a kleptocratic government, I mean thieving government in layman terms, do you think that I am exaggerating or over-exaggerating? Your answer.
You're not over-exaggerating. If I was to give my honest opinion, I would say you're too light.
Wow. Are you serious?
No, I'm very serious because the things that they are doing and the way we should judge them is this is a is a double failure. According to Warmington,
Okay.
them is a double failure. Double failure. When you talk about handling the hurricane relief, when you talk about they don't have aid, obviously them never prepared, but them get aid and all now aid not distribute. When Desmond McKenzie come and he's saying every shelter is up, even last night shelter compound news, they don't have enough food, they don't have electric, they don't have light. But you have generators when you give out it, you have tarpaulin when you give out it. You see them even talk about temporary housing solution. This is the time when housing trust, because a lot of us throw into housing trust and we not get back with money. This is the time where housing trust, they have plans for how many housing schemes they have built already. Just build some houses because you were going to build some houses already and you have the money, and some of the people them can get free and some of them you give them a plan.
Yes. So
solve the problem.
Exactly.
Easy.
So the situation with Darrell Vaz, what Darrell Vaz came out and said is only to admit to the entire world that the Jamaica Labour Party administration is a criminal network. Criminal network.
No, but why are we hearing from Darrell Vaz? A matter of that should be the person who is in charge of security at the airport.
Exactly.
Why we hear from Darrell Vaz? Why we don't hear from the person who is in charge of custom? Darrell Vaz not supposed to come and talk to we? Exactly.
Because the reason...
Why not come give you a time stamp and say the cargo arrived at 10:59, the cargo was unloaded by 10:12, and then the cargo was moved from year to year. Why not give us the names of all the people?
Exactly.
Touch that cargo.
And remember, I am in this space, a certified investigator, plus loss prevention managers from many big companies. So then you tell me in terms of what I am asking about, right? Legitimately to bring forth the evidence. Darrell Vaz, right? As it relates to the airport of CCTV. So then, okay, do your investigation first, right? Via your CCTV, right? Where you would have gotten the evidence. So Darrell Vaz, you have to know that we are out here in the space.
But Mystic.
Yes, my brother.
Remember, I know Mystic. The biggest cocaine bus in our Jamaican history, man, them walk with this stuff, them and go pack it up in the airport, Mystic.
Right.
We have CCTV,
We have CCTV.
And all know up to this day, we only hear them go investigate. We not see no picture, we not see nothing,
Look, let me say this to you. Let me say this to you, Carla. Buju Banton will never get any understanding of what transpired as it relates to his things. This is the Jamaica Labour Party government.
But I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, Mystic. In about 2021 or 2022, Andrew Holness them pass a law. You see, anything we have to do with camera,
yes,
they have something in the law we say they have to have the original and the person.
Okay.
They have that in them law. And even with everything where you see happen with politicians, them have it in them law. Say if politicians do anything, you should ask them to resign.
Huh.
This is the things when me and make up. Them pass that not the law. When them pass it say 15 year and 20 year and 30 year.
Okay.
Okay, my brother.
All right. So I'm glad for you to call, but based on the conversation that you and I have, what we want to tell, right, the journalist who will be asking Darrell Vaz question, and let me say this so Darrell Vaz can prepare, sir. Darrell Vaz, we want you to prepare that in response, right, to this issue relating to Buju Banton, please speak to CCTV related evidence.
But Mystic, for him give that answer, Mystic.
Yes.
It would have come from a journalist like Dean Jackson Miller.
Oh yes, of course. Or Zara Burton.
If you notice, even during Melissa, which the journalists them are Jamaican understand, show them up, make them look like them is nothing.
Yes.
None of them not ask no substantive question to the parliamentarian. None of them not bring nothing substantive.
Exactly.
As coverage for sure the devastation happening in Jamaica, you know.
Well.
So good luck to you, my brother. For hear him get a question like that. Only way that will come is unless from them two people are like, oh, you ask it here, or we alone so might ask a question in relation. Rattigan might ask a question, but don't pin your hopes on the Jamaican journalists. Them ask them question. Them not going to ask nothing at all.
My God, that is sad. But I know that Dean Jackson will ask a question, right? And that is why we know putting it on social media, right? Putting it on social media for that question to be asked, because that is the art of the investigation, right? Get to the CCTV to find out what transpired. The CCTV will be able to highlight you understand everything what transpired and speak in relation to the CCTV. We don't want you to come out and spin and speak from your emotions and try to protect your kleptocratic party, where him himself is a kleptocratic person. You understand what I'm saying? So we know that you are going to spin. So the next time you run out Darrell Vaz, we are asking you, we the Jamaican people, we'll be asking you, make reference from the CCTV. What did you find? What the CCTV, right, data shows, right? Speaking to as it relates to the information or the allegation from Buju Banton. Please come out, sir, and speak in reference of the CCTV. And the next time before you come out, make sure you as a professional person, the first thing you ought to do is investigate. What is the purpose of investigation? It's to find out accurately what transpired. No, I can't believe, Darrell Vaz, that we are paying you millions of dollars a year for you to be giving response like these.
General responses.
It is crazy, Darrell Vaz. You don't deserve your salary. You aren't getting a salary that you don't deserve. So then I am saying that this is a fraud. It's a fraud because you guys are getting salaries that you don't deserve. You're not working for it. Your salary doesn't equate to what you're doing.
I would say to Darrell Vaz, I categorically say without fear of contradiction that if you can't bring those evidence, Darrell Vaz, you're lying.
Exactly. So we are pushing back this morning that Darrell Vaz, please, we're not coming out again to respond as it relates to Buju's allegation. Please speak. And I better say him now come out. Carla, may I tell you something? I better say him now come out because guess what? Mystic Sensation come out with CCTV evidence and people will be asking him to reference from CCTV. You understand what transpired as it relates to right that cargo. You understand? Him now will come out. It's not going to come out. This is a crying shame on the Jamaica Labour Party administration. You understand? And that's why we are exposing them. Well, Carla, thank you for calling. All right?
Have a good one.
Bless up yourself, my brother. Bless up yourself. Let me just have Melting Pot introduce himself. Right? As always, brother Melting Pot. Ropin.
Yeah, man. Give thanks, Mystic. Big up yourself. Yeah, man. Big up everyone tuning in, this afternoon. Enough love and respect, same way. Yeah, enough love to the technical director as usual, Lady Anne Marie. She work behind the scene. Yeah, so without any further ado, I could get into the melt.
All right. Blessings, Melting Pot, for that. So, Melting Pot, we are on the situation with Desmond McKenzie. I want to play back that clip, Melting Pot, so you can follow. I want you to listen to Desmond McKenzie lie, doubling down on the lie. And then me, look, let me just ask something here, Jamaica. When these people, in their press conferences, Jamaican people are waiting for them to, hear the truth. be updated as it relates to the reality, not the fiction. Not the fiction and the spin. But guess what now? What they are doing, press conference after press conference, that rigged with lies. Rigged with lies. No, melting pot. Look here. Listen to this, melting pot. Listen to Desmond Mackenzie here. Unbelievable. Mighty God. Unbelievable. At what point Desmond Mackenzie is going to stop?
Of Parliament for Northeast St. Elizabeth, Zuleika Jess has expressed disappointment with the state of shelters across the parish, even as...
Yes, that's what I'm saying. All right, melting pot. We're going to play about the Desmond Mackenzie. If you just make you hear what Desmond Mackenzie, right, is saying as it relates to shelter. Unbelievable. Now, even when the world know the truth, this man cannot help him. As a matter of fact, Jamaica Labour Party administration cannot help themselves. You understand? From the lies and the spin, the continual lies and the deceit. Desmond Mackenzie, if you never know Desmond Mackenzie, let me try to correct the behavior of Desmond Mackenzie. The clips are out there. They're on TikTok. They're on social media. Everywhere, Desmond Mackenzie. You can't come out and tell the same lie. Mighty God, man. What happened to you, sir? What happened to you, Desmond? Listen here. Listen here, melting pot. Listen to Desmond. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And he looks so handsome today. Good morning, Minister.
Look so handsome.
Good morning,
like
Minister. Good morning, Minister Vaz. Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to start off commenting on the aspect of the shelters and to just also speak quickly to the fact that in the daily newspapers and in the media, specific reference has been made to a number of shelters, especially in Westmoreland, about the lack of basic needs, supplies, and lack of security. I just want to give the country the assurance that all the shelters that was outlined by the new Director General of ARPEM is fully equipped, not just with food supplies, but with adequate security, water.
All right, take that away.
I must point out that one of the problems you're experiencing.
Right, I just want melting pot to hear that. And Jamaican people, even last night, people are complaining. No water, no food. You know what on the people. So Desmond Mackenzie is saying that, okay, people, don't believe your lying eyes. Even what you have heard on mainstream media, even when you see the people are complaining, the people in the shelters are complaining, even when you see the nurses in the shelter are complaining, don't believe them. That's simply what Desmond Mackenzie is saying here, people. Don't believe them. Believe the Jamaica Liar Party. Hey, now this, imagine how many, the amount of money that you are paying these people for this sort of representation. It is shameful. It is despicable for you as a government, right? Concocting lies after lies after lies and selling it to the people when you know definitely that everything out of your mouth is lie. Now, look at this now, people. Let us get into from when the complaint has been voiced. Listen from when the complaint has been voiced. Yes. Now, look at this, people. Let us look at this. This must be stopped. Right? And I'm going to say it again, that the salaries that they are getting, they don't deserve it. They don't.
Member of Parliament for Northeast St. Elizabeth, Zuleika Jess, has expressed disappointment with the state of shelters across the parish, even as those seeking shelter cry out for help with resources. Krista Campbell has that story.
As Melissa inched closer to Jamaica and the severity of her threat became apparent, residents of St. Elizabeth started to make their way to emergency shelters across the parish. We caught up with some who said they've been at the Santa Cruz Primary School since Sunday.
Give thanks to the government, they help to know what going on, because we don't want no disaster and something to people and things. So let's give thanks and praise we are under the shelter, you know. So here we are going. We want to hear. We want some little bit for some little elder people and I know better than something, you know, and some other people and the younger one them. Some of we got a little bit still, yes, but we want more bed, you know. And more little food, little water and everything. We don't have nothing up here.
Water. I don't want medicine arthritis. I mean, medication. I mean, arthritis. So they run from a shelter because food or that shelter food get to eat. Nothing. There's a prepare and they have bed pan dirt. Miss the woman they lie down right now. And I'm dead for hungry. We don't get nothing at this.
Yes. So Desmond Mackenzie. So then what we are hearing, we are not to believe. Even although mainstream media, right, is playing that, interviewing the people in the shelters. Right? These statements made by the people in the shelters. But I am going to also show you the professional nurse who are speaking. So you're saying that these people are lying. Come on. Why are we paying? Why are we paying you? And the amount of money, I am saying it loud and clear. Right? The current salary that the MPs are getting, and I know that a lot of people are going to vex. You don't deserve it. You are not showing no form of work that equate to the salaries that you're getting. You don't deserve it. And as such, right, based on what is happening to our economy, adjustment need to be made. Adjustment need to be made. You know, our callous failure. Now, let us play the next one. Now look at this, Desmond Mackenzie. Professional people and professional journalists is going to speak on the shelters.
This is the first time in all my years as a content creator I felt truly bad for filming, but I also know how important it is to share what's happening. We have stationed ourselves at Petersfield High School, where the need for aid is overwhelming. It's not just about bringing nurses food and water, it's about being the people's voice. There's no water, no food, and the toilets are not working. Water is standing still with rotting livestock throughout the community, creating a serious public health risk. The chances of a cholera outbreak is extremely high, along with other illnesses caused by infectious wound punctures and contaminated water. Among those affected are pregnant women and women with young children, many of whom have no safe space, no clean water, and no sanitation. When aid arrives, the entire community lines up for hours, but what they receive lasts only a day or two. There's still no government presence. Everyone helping here are local community activists, doing everything they can with very limited resources. We have identified a critical need to create a safe space for women and children, a place where they can be safe, seen, and supported. We urgently need water and food, large-scale water filtration systems, solar power, Starlink for communication, generators, security support.
My Jamaican people, I'm talking to the globe as it relates to the situation with this Jamaica Labour Party administration. Right? Their total unpreparedness prior to Hurricane Melissa, and also prior to Beryl, although Beryl wasn't a direct hit. But Jamaica experienced a lot of flooding. And we have problems with the drain. This government care nothing, care zero. So then we see these things and the government coming out telling lies upon lies upon lies. press conference upon press conference that rig with lies and venoms, political venoms. It is time for us to accept it for what it is. The Jamaica Labour Party is a kleptocratic party, and they have no care in nation building. Let me say it while clear. Now, at this time, let me bring in Melting Pot. You understand? To give his input. Melting Pot, come in.
Yes, Mystic. Now, this is no secret as to the whole debacle and shambolic running at the center them, with them, you know, offer to the people them as relief shelter. First of all, you know, we call them the makeshift shelter in terms of they are not adequately built for that. They are using school, community centers, and churches alike, and you know, branding them as shelter. But for you to have a shelter, you know, it have to have the requisite amenity. You understand? And we know it don't have that because there was lack of bedding, yeah, for elderly people, mothers and kids. When a man can rough it out, you know, the elderly them and the female, you need more, you know, more concern about them well-being and them welfare. Okay? But let us just go back to that last tape that you played, Sir Byron. Petersfield High School.
Yes.
And the situation at Petersfield High School was grave in such a way. Yeah, because when you're at a shelter, you know, simply mean that you have a few people there. Toilet not working. Unbelievable. Standing water. Right? That means the place basically flooded. No water as it relates to domestic usage for the people to consume. No food. Rotten carcass in water. Yeah. No. These are critical disaster, and the people on top of disaster that Melissa bring to the people. The government has created disaster in such a way that the people find it, you know, unbelievable to bear the situation where the government put them in. When you imagine, you know, having to go through and process where you know happened to you, yeah, but you're in a confined space and your brain not settle, but at the same time you're not comfortable and you're hungry. And you're all surrounded by water when it's supposed to be a shelter. That is bad. So if a dead man Mackenzie come out, yeah, and I defend the fact say the shelter them was up to date, yeah, with all security. You understand? Me know a lie I tell.
Crazy.
I'm lying. You understand? And it's time the Jamaica Labour Party realize the world know about their practices of telling lies. You understand? And bare-faced lie to you know. And it look bad because the government wasn't ready for the eventuality of Hurricane Melissa. Even when them get that grace period of days before it arrived, they were in panic mood. And it's a stingy government when it comes to dealing with the people. You understand? The government like to spend money towards the population. So them they play a game called, you know, turn and see. Wait and see. Because maybe remember last year, them did say Berilla come and it swerve. So when I go do nothing. Well, once bitten, twice shy. This time, Melissa never miss. The eye come cross. The affected area like Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Hanover, Trelawny, Manchester, right now them region there. You understand? And the worst experience for Jamaican in modern time as it relates to storm and hurricane. Never seen before the likes of Melissa in Jamaica. Now, we know for a fact that the government has failed the people them and failed them miserable. And when the people speak out, and when we see the video, and we combine the two mechanisms together, we see what is happening in Jamaica. Yeah, we're hearing from the people who are affected, and we're seeing what is happening around the people them. So we know the people them not telling any lies. So for dead man Mackenzie, as the Minister of Local Government, yeah, which form part of the disaster risk management team, him shouldn't be telling this type of callous lie.
No.
It be your face and it unwanted. You understand? Because this man is making a mockery of the Jamaican citizen, you know. And the people in Jamaica can't realize that is all the Labour Party do is make a mockery of the life. Yeah, by when they not come out and speak the truth, them come out because them are some big wigs in a society and tell pure lie to contradict the truth when they speak. And so we know say it's an uncaring government that does not fit to lead a country. Because these people have been robbing all the money, you know. So it's like a man have a woman and she have kids to him. And him keep lying to her, telling her, say, well, you know, him do a job and him to get some money, but the money not coming in. You know, so at all time them pick them up a supper at the hands, you know, at them father, you know. And the only love and care where them I get is from the mother. Because the father is always lying. Now the only care where Jamaica get right now, you know, are from the outside world. So anybody in Jamaica want to jump up and down and say hippie puree, Labour Party great. Lying to themselves as well.
Exactly.
They are lying to themselves. The Labour Party has not contributed anything from its own possession.
Not
because the Labour Party broke. Mash up the country. It not no money around the country. So Andrew Darby just come out and start tell pure lie like him prepare and him well ready for the take on this thing. Tell all international journalists less than 2 weeks the country go up and running. Well, me sure over past 2 weeks and the country them start move. Country them start move. So that alone show you where we are come from. So Andrew Wallace and the Labour Party members them are just a pack of liars. And the only reason why them lie the way them lie is because they are a bunch of thieves. Yeah? When you're thief, you know, you have to lie, you know, to protect the stealing habit where you have. Because if you didn't balancing and transparent, you know, you'd have the money at your disposal. Look, Jamaica get a lot of money. Jamaica is heavily taxed. Yeah? And a lot of remittance come from the diaspora into Jamaica. You understand? Plus the liquor them I get from tourism and other sector. And the population is not enormous. So we know say the government should be able to look after Jamaica to an extent where when them get the outside gift, it just make everything balanced. You understand? But right now, at the outside gift, I will up Jamaica. So we know the government have to be in a position where there is find themselves telling pure lies. They weren't prepared, yeah, and them don't care for the people. Them never have nothing like even generator or pump to pump water for them say standing water is. Nothing, them not have nothing for disaster. Nothing for disaster, them not have. And the reason for it, we have a dictator around the country, you know, and anything him say goes. We don't see him angle ad pem. We don't see him angle ad pem. We don't see who him bring come ad pem. Them man there no push back when Prime Minister talk. Them man they take harder. Who him have a run ad pem, take harder. Them no gonna talk. Them do as told to do. So this is the reason why Jamaica is where it's at the moment. Now we have to look, yeah, on all the controversy we surround this Labour Party government. And we have to ask ourselves a question, you know. When will our people wake up and realize that the country can't run because you like a guy or you like the party when them not perform? Andrew Wallace come out, you know, and say the reason why they are not performing is because we have paid scant regard to them. And we are treat them with schizophrenia and all these type of narrative. You understand? Them want more money, and when them get more money, them will work. Since them guy get this hefty increase in salary package, you know. Yeah? I want to tell you them down tool even more. Them down tool. Because they have gone from zero to sub-zero. Nothing to show for the high increase. So we are saying at this critical point in time that this high increase has to be amended in a situation where the salary have to cut. We cannot be paying garbage to work and they are not picking up the pieces. No. Where this government is concerned, this government is relying on the citizen and who live in the diaspora, donor country, World Bank, IMF. This government don't mobilize nothing for itself through its own, process where it implement jobs creation and all these things and other things we can shore up the economy so we can have a good GDP. So Andrew need to come talk to the people and make the people them know. So well, here what now? This country in a bad state. And it's because of we, the Labour Party. Yeah? Because when we get the country, we get it in a good shape. We get a country that did that stand up now. The country pop down right on it, face the country there. And Andrew play politics with people life in Jamaica. Right now, when the final count, we're certain it are going a triple figure. I am certain that the loss of life will enter into the triple digit because of Andrew Wallace neglect. We don't see people in authority. We see people, practicing to be wannabe authority. The people who was charged with the responsibility to manage the crisis at PEM, the government pushed them in at the crisis period. Now that is telling me something spooky and fishy is going on behind the scene where Andrew Wallace is trying to reap havoc from the donation, from the insurance bond, and from other money that's coming into the country. This is why Andrew take away the responsibility from ADPEM and give it to a guy from upper JDF. Now people, soldier does not backtalk. Soldier take action and work. That is why Andrew have these people there. Him no want nobody to question him and ask him nothing. And in the soldier, they won't. In army personnel, they will not ask any question. They take command and act. So Andrew is now having the play field for himself. Dead man Mackenzie know about it. This is why you see him run out and attack. Many of them, you can't see them delight, because they know what the Prime Minister does. When you're looking at Trelawney the other day, I used to chew over Hamilton.
Yeah, all right. Melting Pot, let me give you a minute to finish up because we have several more topics to go. So use the 1 more minute.
All right. Yeah, so just look on all them have them fanfare in a Trelawney with Chuva Hamilton, Juliet Cuthbert, Delano Seabright. You understand? And one more did it again. Who George Wright or one of them else did it. You see what they were going with? Them group up. Them group up. They are like them, they all over the place and I work for the people, Them were having a fanfare because them know them have benefit immensely. Through voter operative, and through monetary gain because them have benefit. I'll back the floor, my brother.
All right, blessing for that Melting Pot. So basically what Melting Pot is saying, right, that Desmond Mackenzie is pathologically dangerous. That is what Melting Pot is saying as it relates to Desmond Mackenzie, right? Desmond Mackenzie coming out and blatantly lying to the Jamaican people, and it is time for you to stop that, Desmond Mackenzie, right? That is not the truth. Speak the truth. At least the people are paying you millions of dollars in taxpayers money as it relates to your salary, and you're coming out, right, telling them lie You are not giving the service that the people expect of you. So while you are trying to put your party in a good light, right? Where your party just cannot be put in a good light. You are not working for the Jamaican Labour Party, you are working for Jamaican people. And you have to take the Jamaican people best interests in heart, in mind. So why are you coming out and lying to the Jamaican people who are paying you? Right? You don't deserve the salary, Mackenzie. You don't. Now, Jamaica, stand by, because we are going to get into the art of a serious corruption. I know that my brother Lonesome carried the topic, right, as it relates to HAJ, Andrew Scheme Housing Project. But I'm going to show you the art of the corruption as it relates to Andrew Owners. And let me ask Andrew Owners. Andrew, I'm asking a question. Do you have any shares as it relates to Edmund Bridge? Do you have any shares in that, Andrew Owners? Now, the reason why I'm asking that question, it goes to the art of corruption. Andrew Owners, your wife is in real estate. Andrew Owners, you are in real estate. And so then, you market a property that, trust me, we are going to get into it and show you the substandard of the property and why you were politicking, because you were comparing your property, right, to the People's National Party Pride
Operation Pride.
Operation Pride project. And so then you inject the politics while your scheme, right, is in worse situation, and that is how you are, Andrew Owners. Now look at this. We are going to get into some bangarang today. Andrew Owners, let us lift up this. You should not be doing this, Andrew Owners. This is corruption. Let us show the people how well you market, right, Edmund Ridge Estate. Let us show you that the prime minister, hold on, before you play it on it. We have never seen no prime minister in Jamaica, apart from Andrew Owners, that went deliberately out of his responsibility doing marketing for a project. They have never seen a prime minister has done that. But listen to Andrew Owners marketing this property, and that's why I asked Andrew Owners, right? We want to find out if you and Juliet Owners have shares. Hey, the reason why I'm asking these questions, people, remember that this man is under investigation, you know. Later on in the future, when certain things start to reveal, remember that Mystic Sensation did ask these questions, you know. I am asking you, Andrew Owners and Juliet, if you guys have any shares in this question. Now, let us look how Andrew Owners, the Prime Minister, personally marketing this project, Edmund Ridge Estate. Look at this.
We had a very good partnership with Henan Fifth, a Chinese construction company, that brought their technical expertise into the development of the site, which ensured that the price points were within reach. years, the demand is incredible. I'm certain that if we had here 8,000 houses, 10,000 houses, all of them would have been sold. In fact, I'm told that the HAJ advertised just over 200 houses and had more than 6 times the number of applicants. So
let me say this, right? Categorically clear, right? That obviously we're going back to the Jamaica Constitution as we see this clip. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, right? I don't have the evidence. If you and Edmund Bartlett and your wife have shares in this, we have a serious constitutional crisis on our hand. And this must stop. Going forward, you can't have politicians who are active in politics, right? And engaging in their business, being benefited as a result of their political influence. It ought not to happen. So if you and Edmund Bartlett, right, enjoying the spoils of your politics, now, Jamaican people, let us speak about the Constitution a bit before we go further. There is nothing in the Constitution can hold these, to me, criminals accountable. And let me tell you why. There's nothing in the Constitution to stop a politician while he have his active business, right, not to perform or engage in the political process. Just like America and other democratic countries, if you are an active politician and you have a business, you are to put your business into a blind trust, Andrew Holness. Edmund Bartlett, you are to put your business into a blind trust. Government members of parliament, you cannot be actively representing people politically and using the political influence to gain benefits. It is not right. This must involve in the Constitution to stop this behavior. It must not be continued. We are not getting any political representation, my Jamaican people, I am telling you. Why you don't have laws in the Constitution to curtail a behavior like this? So that Andrew Holness, another member of parliament, can use their political influences, just like Christopher Tufton, use their political influence to gain benefit. It ought not to happen. In civilized, democratic country, United States, UK, Canada, that can never ever happen. It can never ever happen, people. This, we must have laws within the Constitution to protect the citizenry, to protect taxpayers. Unless we do so, before we can investigate them. Many, and this is it. Let me explain this, people. We have seen people blaming the Integrity Commission investigators. We have seen people blaming the Integrity Commission investigators. But the truth be told, the Integrity Commission investigators doesn't have a solid backbone as it relates to law that can support them to charge these people. So before we blame the Integrity Commission investigators, we need to question whether or not there are foundations in laws that establish for these people to be charged, to be prosecuted. Right? Nothing with nepotism, cronyism, right? They acted freely and do all their corruption. And this is what Andrew Holness using and getting away with it. Because nothing in the Constitution, you understand, that definitely bear the tenets of the laws to go and prosecute these people. Andrew Holness in front of us. You understand? The Prime Minister. The Prime Minister. Marketing a project where the possibility may exist that him, Juliet Holness, Edmund Bartlett have shares in this. Want to tell me if this is right? Tell me if it is right. Now, look at this now, people. I am going to show you something. And this is what another corruption lead to. We have seen many of the Chinese people taking over Jamaican work as it relates to basic construction. So Chinese now start to do home construction. Yeah. And what happened to our Jamaican people? What happened to our Jamaican people? The Jamaican couldn't go over China and do that in China. But watch this. Look at the type of, I am going to show you something. Look at how the Chinese, right, do home construction. Look at this example. Look at this example. This person who tried to pick up the Chinese doing this work, right? He doesn't even know the detail. Look at this now, people. Look.
Yo, watch this. Let me show you how Chinese do them thing. Just watch him do it black work, youth. You realize you not see no steel? You understand what I mean? Steel are going out. You see me? Whole I wall back cut up already and pack on the ground. So as soon as you see him put on them block there, then they send down the wall bar down in a block them. Now listen to this now. Every construction site where Chinese they have a guard, other way you go see them put in their steel. You understand what I mean? Chinese no put block over steel. Chinese no use them the strength there. And I them thing they only have to observe with my video them. Yo, Chinese look on the bucket them on the ground. Look how them small. Look on them. And look on the big bucket them what we use. Chinese now kill out themselves youth and them get the work done. You better best believe. So call all parish council you want, because parish council have to know about them. You see me I say? Chinese are build Jamaica youth and you have to accept that. Are you grieve about it?
Take away this. Now, the Chinese laying block and then put in the steel. Now, this is dangerous, Jamaica. As it relates to Jamaica, constructing their homes with black cement, stone, and steel. Very dangerous. So the Chinese lay the block and then push down the wall bar. You don't have the matting laid in the foundation and then the steel bar connected and tied to the matting. Now, let me show you something. I'm going to show you an house that Coolers is constructing. And you're going to see that the mattings were laid. So you have the bottom foundation where the matting laid, right, and the steel bar connected to the matting. And when they're going up top, you're going to see that Coolers repeat the process of having matting and the steel bar attached to the matting. The Chinese don't do that. That is a very weak structure. Now, look at this. Let me play the Coolers clip to show you the example of what we are talking about when we talk about matting, right, and steel bar. Look at this, people. Look at this. Now, stop it. All right. Stop it there where the people can see. There it is, people. Stop it. If you look at the far left, see the matting, right? Already laid across, and you see the steel bar and the column tied into that matting. The column and the steel bar tied into it. The Chinese don't have that. So then you can have an entire building falling on you. Play it a little further, let the people them can see.
This construction. You see how the construction look, people? Right? So it's steel up. Right? The steel bar. The mat that lay across to provide strength. Right? And the steel bar and the columns erected within the mountain, tied within the building structure. Here it is, evidence. Look at it. Look at it, people. Look on the left there. Right? You see that? Look at it, people. Everything tied from foundation coming straight up. Look at it. There it is.
Yeah,
Take that off. And yet, under Andrew Warner's administration, the Jamaican workers them kick out, and Chinese that do home construction, building what? To kill us off? To kill us off? Look at this now with Andrew Warner's. To show you that this man is just a scammer. Yes, our Prime Minister is a scammer. Now look at this. Now let us play this. A lot of people don't like when me talking. But we tell the truth around here. He's a scammer. Yes. Look at this now, people.
Ground from the Anthem. So as you know, we are impacted by Hurricane Beryl, and so our mission here today is to reinforce the need for preparedness. So Choppy was launched. This is Choppy. These are the hurricane traps. So Choppy is just an image of the hurricane trap.
Well, I guess it is.
Yes. So they say the persons ensure that just drop it down. So in case we have another impact, because this hurricane season will be an active one, right? So in case we have another impact, ensure that it's dropped down. So we don't have some of devastation.
So the Minister of Local Government had informed the nation that the ministry would be launching this campaign through ADPEM. It is very important because as we are rebuilding, there will be the great temptation to rebuild quickly. But it would not be a wise thing to do because were there to be another hurricane, there goes your roof. What was clear to me and clear to the minister as well who traveled with me was that the roofs that had on hurricane straps survived, and those that didn't, those took off.
Take it away on it.
It's a very simple thing. It is inexpensive and it doesn't require much technical know-how.
You heard that from out of the Prime Minister mouth. That the Prime Minister said based on his investigation that the roofs that survive, as according to Melissa passing, were the roofs that have, right, those roof traps. Now, look at it. And so then the Prime Minister know that, okay, all right. We are the Prime Minister personally involved into a project, particularly marketing that project, right? Those roof straps would have been necessary for the Prime Minister to sell that project as value for money. It would be necessary in terms of the Prime Minister knowing that the project that he's marketing have all these roof traps, right? And you are getting value for money. And that the Chinese who are building these structures will have their mutton firmly in the foundation, steel bar tied to mutton. You don't see, look at this now, people, to show you that Andrew Holness is a scammer. Look at this. Watch this now, people. Look at disaster strike here. Look at this.
The zinc was flying, and it's like you can see the breeze coming in every direction. North, south, east, west.
This is what is left of the wall, the remains of it, made out of paper. This is our home at what is left of it. It is three of us that live here, myself, my wife, and our 8-year-old son. And this is the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. This house is in St. James East Central, the Edmund Rich Estate. That was named after Edmund Bartlett, the tourism minister. And I understand that he and the Prime Minister came by to Palmyra, but they never come this side to look at the damage. We purchased this house from the HAJ, Housing Agency of Jamaica, and they don't even come to our meeting with the residents yet. Some of us are still sleeping in our cars. Our homes are totally gutted by the wind, and they don't even have anything to come and to talk with us. They're just directing us to the insurance. I have been here since December. December would be 2 years.
How old is the complex?
The complex about 3 years, 3, 4 the most. And it's a new complex.
You were looking at the material that was used to construct the house.
Paper jar wall. The material is far substantial. Literally concrete. These are the walls with some dust in it. It's all gone. It's all gone. So this is what is left of the wall. The remains of it, made out of paper. Looking at what is left, I cried many times already. I'm still in disbelief. Tuesday night, we slept in the car. The night after, the car again. And we are still on the outside.
When you said Tuesday night?
The night of the storm.
Yes.
The night of Melissa. The roof was going to run out of it. And that's what spared our life.
Was your son here at the time?
Yes, the three of us. Well, when he was here, he was crying, traumatized. When the things were flying away, I asked him to go under the bed. And that's where he sought cover.
Given the location of the complex, when you heard about the warnings that we're going to be having a hurricane that would potentially be catastrophic, did you at any point think that you were in any danger, you had to evacuate, you had to leave?
So the only thing we do, we buy food and water. It was never in our wildest imagination that the roof, any of the roof would have gone. It was never in our expectation, because I think a part of what they said that the roof are hurricane proof, and you can see the few hurricane straps that they used to hold the roof together. The board were not even in the concrete, and the very top of the concrete, so they all flew away in the wind.
Prime Minister has just made some announcement to raise help for persons like you. They have offered a $500,000 grant and a 3.5 home improvement. How do you feel about this?
Well, any help that we get would go a far way to get us back somewhere, because as you see, we are.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness, you have personally marketed this property. You personally put your seal on this property. You personally stamp your seal on this property. And you say it is a prime property. As a matter of fact, you made comparison between your project and Operation Pride. Right? And here it is that Hurricane Melissa exposed your scamming, because this is a scam. That you use substandard material to construct all of that project. Substantial material that you people purchase cheaply, and you sell each unit for millions of dollars. Andrew, this is scamming. You put your stamp on this, and you have seen that experience. You have gone there and you don't even have the courtesy to talk to the people. It is you who marketed it. It is you and Edmund, and based on what I'm seeing, it appears as if this particular project, it appears as if you and Edmund Bartlett have shares in this. So then, it appears as if this project belongs to you. I don't know if Juliet have any shares, or I don't know if Vegas have any shares in this. Yeah? Because Vegas get some land too, you know. Yes. So let me say this. As you people go around with a scam, you went on marketing a project like this to be value for money. And you said that, okay, this is for ordinary Jamaicans. Ordinary Jamaicans. The price per unit, sir, is not for ordinary Jamaicans as what you make it to look, right? With your scamming mentality. These units that we have seen started from the lease of $18 million upward. So, sir, it's not for ordinary Jamaicans as you sell it with your scam. You're a scam. But the point of discussion here that I want people to understand is where you use minimum expense to carry out this project by utilizing substandard material. So people look at the scam. The government is a part of a scam, right? Using substandard material, right, to build a complex and selling the substandard material for millions of dollars. Andrew Honest, you are a scammer. And Edmund Bartlett, if you're involved in this, you're a scammer. And Vegas, if you're involved in this, you are a scammer. We understand why you are defending the government. And Juliet Honest, if you're involved in this, you are a scammer. But guess what? She also the Speaker of the House and involved in several real estate. This cannot be correct. This cannot be right. Cannot be right. And particularly hurting investors by selling investors, guess what? Substandard units for their money. This is what you're doing. This is a scam. And this is why we find you in Cash Plus. This is why we find you in OLED. This is the same reason why we find you in SSL. You are a scammer. You come and tell me, you come and tell Jamaica if you don't scam them. You tell those investors who have paid into that and where you sell it as value for money. You tell them today that you didn't scam them. You are a scammer. Scammer. And let me take away myself and have Melting Pot sledge you down. Melting Pot, come into the mix.
Right, Sir Byron. Now, you know, we always have issue with Andrew Wallace and the amount of activity we're involved in, I know. I mean, we know that's not right. You know, regardless, there's no mechanism within the Constitution. But the man still can act with some form of dignity, man. And respect for the law of the country. Yeah, because him know him not to do it, you know. And I like him not know, you know.
Yes,
him know him not supposed to do it. You understand? All of them where I do the practice know them not supposed to do it. But yet still, them do it and them do it to an extent where them overdo it. You know, if I ask if it's a labor right complex that you look upon, you know. Edmund Ridge Real Estate. And who you see, I do the whole prime PR sales. Andrew Wallace. Because PR him sell the people, you know. PR him do and sell the people in the place. And this is why you know so vested interest them have. You see who him try to make comparison with Portia Simpson, the Operation Pride house. But them house there are some far more, you know, better build house than where Andrew has sell the people for 18 million upward. But Andrew wants to go to prison for all of them things, you know. You just want the right man in the seat and for roll back the tape. You understand? And play all them activity. And them activity, you know, them illegal. And nepotism and cronyism up Andrew around the country and that. Yeah? Because everything where Andrew do, you know, him don't do it by the books. Him go against the book. You understand? And so when you go against the book, you know, Nothing can right, you know. This is why the people them get them prefabricated houses here. I look on that, it look like piece of cardboard wet up and crumble. You understand? Because them they not build properly, you know. Substandard material, mass production in building as well. You can't see it. Because it's a house when a 4-year-old yet. Yeah, the gentleman said I'm living here 3 years. Yeah, okay. And maybe a year for commission them. Yeah. So, you know, son, the house, them a brand new house, but them rooftop gone. But here is Andrew now. Mama want to ask him the question. Them house the way you sell the people where you're own. You're your friend. Real estate. I want to know which coffers the 500,000 come out of give them. Can't come out of the taxpayers' money, you know. Make sure it come from the private developer. Because we don't have them house they construct them under HAJ. Housing Association of Jamaica. Yeah, and we know so them there no belongs to Jamaica. It belongs to the Jamaica Labour Party and its operative. And the CEO we are running all of them things there is one Andrew Holness. And people need to get that straight. Andrew Holness I do all the development, them you see him everywhere. You see him out of Morant Bay, them have business out there as it relates to the plaza where you see them build up. Whole heap of them have them piece of pie right there so. Yeah, because them have steal the Jamaican taxpayers' land. Yeah, because them have a guy where run that department, that UDDC department there, you know. Andrew back pocket him, you know. When Andrew sit down pan him, you know. So you know it go. You understand? So we just want to get this thing clear out of the ear. You cannot take the Jamaican taxpayers' money and cover your insurance for them house there where the rooftop them gone. We want you to understand, says time you leave the type of business where you practice. Yeah? Leave it and leave the politics. Because you can want so much more wealth out of Jamaica. With you and Juliet, it's time now to stop mine out Jamaica, because mine me sooner mine out Jamaica in a sense, you know. We not mine it out by building it out. Nothing left back there for nobody. And that the Labour Party them a do. The Charles them a do it same way. GST Hutchinson a do it. Headman Bartlett involved in it. Juliet, the whole of them. Bars, the whole of them. People don't see where I go on. And remember the man them not take a acre or two, you know. Thousands of acres them a take all over the place. We are going to left for uno. Where them want to go no back where Michael is telling them to come down half. And remember, we not get certain of the hillside them too. We not get the one them where them refuse. We not develop on a want where you know say hill and gully. So we need to understand what we not deal without a Jamaica man. What happened? I don't love the whole in this family so labor right. We don't realize like the whole in this family no like uno. But we not show them love. Because Andrew them did like uno, you know, Andrew them would have left back some island for uno. Andrew have the Chinese them time to a policy where them come and work and get a certain amount of land up to Chinese and get the land them over uno. You can't realize. I remember the new set now we're coming from India. Them all get land too. Because this is what Andrew do. Swap land for deal. You understand? So nothing I go left for uno out there. So you can't sit down and make the whole in his family take away all of the land from uno and the Charles them and the bars them and the Hutchins them. Yeah, and now you see Edmund Bartlett guy have a whole heap of thing I go on to, you know. Lollipop jaw play like him smart under the disguise, you know. But a whole heap of activity me now, you know.
Oh yes.
Because we know about him long time. You understand? We know about Edmund long time. Yeah, remember Queenie do the same thing too. Queenie build out down in a whole harbor. A whole piece of shit like that was soon dead and gone. Still a bill. You know, sister, the man them have no interest at all. Where go left phone out there? Hey, Michael supposed to turn in I'm grave, you know. Joshua told him to come off of the inside and come down here, so. And I up down and make Labour government to put on the back pan. Yeah? I up there saying, I see the beach them gone with Joshua Piper, you know. And everything I left for now. So we know Andrew Hollis around the country and mafiaism. Yeah? The Prime Minister not supposed to sit down in an office and work for the country. But have so much activity. We don't see no Prime Minister go nowhere sell house. This Prime Minister sell house, him sell all plaza. Because we see him out of Morantby sell the plaza. You understand? You can't walk down there and realize that the general ship that we have played out in front of you. Angela bigger than the country, me keep reminding you. At time when you release this guy of him duty, we need a demonstration now toward the Prime Minister and his wife and the Labour Party. Yeah, I mean, I put my mouth on the ground and talk, you know. Jamaica need a full-scale demonstration. We can't take no more of this. This don't look good. This is a cruelty to the people in our country. Yeah. When we look and see Chinese coming, yeah, you give them the technical engineering development construction we are going, like the road them and the bridge. All right, call no say Jamaica idiot. How alone call Jamaica an idiot, you know. That's why I can't understand when my people are dealing, you know. PMP no call no idiot, you know. I'm pushing on one side, you know. PMP integrate, you know, in the work we are going in the country. Yeah. And you want to say the Labour Party should on one side and draw the Chinese them. Yeah. And put them on the engineering side of the development of the country. All right. But when we look, they might do building as well, housing. They might build out Jamaica. They might take over all the garage. Well, we don't know the supermarket and the wholesale, them control that chain there already. And them gone at the restaurant now, because only for Miss Chin and Mr. Chin food chat about the place. Then we are going to left for now. What is going to be there for you guys? I want to sit down like you want drink Andrew water, dirty foot water. You know, sit down make Andrew wash off him dirty foot and I go into the water for drink. Yeah, while him a drink Catherine Peak. You don't understand where me I go with it. You not take shit from Andrew. I want to give Andrew billions of dollars by giving him support. At time you don't understand what you do in life in Jamaica. Yeah, because you think every day foreigner go help you. I want to help yourself. You don't sit down around a guy where I'm mashing up day in, day out, kill out your family, kill out your husband, do all type of things for this town. From Andrew government coming and the most people dead over a 10-year period. Here, you check that. And the most starvation in a 10-year period. You check that. And the most people dead through circumstances of not their own. Andrew kill off over 7,000 people in the pandemic. Remember, Jamaica have one of the impeccable record, you know. All along, you know. Nobody, a few little cases detect. When Andrew realized it's time to steal an election again, him call an election at the height. Over 7,000 people dead. And him try for half the number and say 3,500. Yeah? And see him come here now. He mash up the people again. I know it when run into triple digit the amount of casualty from Melissa. And remember, you know, and just start a thing called state killing. State killing my people. Yeah, and the case them can't solve all when them people ever come out, come kill the people them wrong and you see them on video, them case them not solve. Yeah. So who want know where I go in our country? What wrong with Jamaica make Jamaica can't move? What is wrong with Jamaica? Well, the only thing I know that is wrong with Jamaica is who are run the country. It's the party that is in power today. That is what's wrong with Jamaica. Because a bunch of criminals over there, so, you know. All of them are play the same game. Male and female, the whole of them are criminal. Juliet a criminal. Mama Cow a established criminal. She thief all people property from in a mobile. And come back come thief taxpayers' money. Yeah? Charles them a criminal. DeVars them a criminal. Queenie a criminal. Tough Tongue a criminal. J.C. Hutchinson. Robertson. Yeah? The whole of Floyd Green. Hey, the list too big for me mention. Edmund Bartlett, the whole of them are criminal. And we sit down and we know it, you know. But what we do? We provide them bread and breakfast. Bed and breakfast compactness we are give them. You know, sister, we know are the problem. The people in Jamaica are the problem for them own self. And you make sure telling us say, who did choose a government and I treat it with schizophrenia and they want money. I want to make Andrew take the money and go out and block the road while phone salary stuck. Phone salary non-existent. Only depend minimum wages. Now I know minimum wages can be anything. But I know living wages have to be up to a standard. Who not bad for standard. Yeah? Which is the living wages. Because it must coincide with the economy. Yeah? With the interest rate we are around the country. And that's why your standard and your wages supposed to match inflation. When you sit down and make the man them take how much 1,000 increase. Yeah? And then now perform. Now perform. And it take Jah Almighty to prove to you say Andrew not perform. By pouring down when we pour down. And the whole place flood out. Like back now the time when Noah built the ark. And everything did flood. You understand? So I don't understand why I go with this guy, you know. This guy should have never do a term, much less 3 terms. You understand? From a year, the man's salary cannot be, on a year, him thing there, cannot be certified. Him statutory declaration, you should have get rid of him. Because that alone telling us that the man a criminal in the country.
Exactly.
Why you are going to work over this, so? And you depend $10,000 a month. And you do 12 months. Yeah? But you can't declare it. Because you know you don't have 12 months. You have all 48, 50, 60 months worth of salary. But that's why you work, you know. So you're overinflated. So when we are talking about and I show the people right now, where Andrew have, under no circumstance, him don't get it through a clean way. That's why him cannot make it be certified. Him can't put it out there. But him still want to claim it, and then you don't know investigation and reveal more and more things them involved in. Because I know the Integrity Commission never knows him have over 200 trucks. Me certain of that, you know. Me certain the Integrity Commission, because you don't hear it mentioned in the affidavit. So Integrity Commission look into the amount of truck them him have. Find out how him get the contract. Find out how him get the contract for these 200 odd truck where him have a work. Because we never know a prime minister so wicked to him people. A 200 odd family that him stop from having food on them table. While him table full of run over. Him still want more. So we want to understand from Andrew now. All the more what you want. What you going to do with it? How long you have Panja left to live? How long you have to live? The 2 sons where you have or the 3 sons or the 4 picnic where you have. Because you have outside picnic. Yeah? Them cannot even quarter that where you thief. Where you thief and have, them can't even quarter it. Because remember, you know, you have to put for Juliet one with it, you know. Belongs to them. Yeah? So we are asked the question again by Jamaican people. Where you really are doing Andrew Wallace and Juliet Wallace? Where them have over one make you can't let go off of them. Them now put food physically on the table, you know. Because me a remind, you know. The food down I get now is not from Andrew. It's from people outside of Jamaica. For Andrew alone, on the rib start show. For Andrew alone, on the rib start to show. So we are asked the question, how long Andrew will reign over Jamaica? I yield back the floor to my brother.
All right. Blessing on that melting pot. I mean, you know, some powerful punch there. And definitely, right, facts spitting from out of the mouth of melting pot. But the next subject that we are going to be dealing with, we are going to be venturing to the hall of the dunce of all the dunces, right? And we have to highlight it to show you how this administration, right? I mean, they lost it in every way, shape or form. And the so-called people who are representing us as it relates to the Jamaica Labour Party shouldn't be representing us. Shouldn't be representing us. Now, remember earlier I spoke about Vegas, and we know that Vegas now had given up entertainment and gone into vlogging. Is now officially the Jamaica Labour Party bottom vlogger, not top vlogger. Bottom vlogger, not top vlogger. And so then he's coming out, right, and try to twist things, but poor Vegas. Vegas done said than the rest of them, right? He's one of the worst person to be vlogging for Jamaica Labour Party because he has no sense of awareness, lack research, and 95% of the things that Vegas talking about, right, he doesn't know bulls, plain and simple, right? And we can break down the evidence and show it. Don't know bulls, daft as they come. He's one of the daftest person who vlogging for the Jamaica Labour Party. Now listen this, and to show you the extension of his dunceness. Listen this.
So the PMP really bent on starting civil unrest. The PMP are play the people them lives. Mark Golden and the PMP, MPs them, member of parliament them, kept a press conference and they asked for a special oversight committee to deal with the Hurricane Melissa relief funds. All right. Andrew Walden said, no problem. You see, let's have an oversight committee. Minister Floyd Green, sit down with the PMP, them and decide the members them for the committee, the church, etc., etc. The bodies them will be a part of this thing. Like a proper oversight. Andrew said, no problem. So them sit down and them start put it together. The PMP jump up. No, we already have an oversight committee. We don't need to form another one. Withdrew their request. The PMP withdrew their request for an oversight committee to deal with this situation here. The Hurricane Melissa relief funds are expenditure. Now tell me now, people. You know why they withdraw? Because if we have an oversight committee with all the bodies, them, the churches, and all them, and other independent bodies, then we can't call Andrew Walden thief. We can't get to give no surrogates them no talking points to go to go say Andrew Walden thief no money. We can't go say the labor right them a thief money. To start civil unrest. So because we want civil unrest, we decide so we no longer want an oversight committee to deal with this situation. We don't want to keep the original oversight committee in place. So we never did think about that before we go ask for one. We never did know say one in place. When Dion Jackson Miller and Zara Burton them run around every press conference and then go up on them platforms, yeah, opposite like the government to hide something, the government want thief something, and Dion Jackson Miller come like she go drop down if she don't get it. No, right now, and right now. And the Auditor General come out and I say, yo, them say the Auditor General have to go act now, she have to act now to stop corruption. We never know, so we already had an oversight committee. So we're not going to talk about this now. So the PMP bluffed or flip-flop. We're not going to talk about that. Why Mark Golding come out to ask for an oversight committee and no one don't want an oversight committee? Me and PMP at about he wanted a broad-based oversight committee. What is a broad-based oversight committee? Eh? What's a broad-based oversight committee? Independent of the government. Then that demand them did I do? The church and the government. So me not understand what I say. Listen, me virgins and sisters. The PMP now have no qualms. All them middle of a disaster, them a play politics. Them still a campaign. The PMP can't accept them lose the election. And the only way them think they can get rid of Andrew Wellness have to start civil unrest.
Take this garbage away. All right, Vegas. We know why you are doing this, you know. Because you are eating out of the trough. You're getting lands from the government and venturing into business. We know that in Vegas. We know that. But we are going to come out with some more investigation. But anyway, let us deal with this. So Vegas, let me ask you. What was the request of Mark Golding, the opposition party? Was it a parliamentary oversight committee, which the PNP already have? Now let me remind you, the PAC, the Public Accounts Committee, and the PAAC, the Public Administration Accounts Committee. Those two committees that deal with the oversight in terms of government expenditures, the PNP had gotten them back. That was what Andrew Owens took from them in 2020. So Mark Golding, try and get it, Vegas. Mark Golding wasn't asking to have a giant parliamentary committee. Mark Golding was asking for a national task force committee outside of Parliament so that you can have an extra layer of protection of checks and balance and accountability while the opposition who sits on the committee of the PAC and the PAAC will also provide checks and balance. And I'm going very slow to you, Vegas, because I want you to get it. I can't go fast enough because I know you don't have the brain. So I go slow to you now, Vegas, so that you can get it. Let me repeat it again, Vegas, because remember, say, you may deal with it. You understand? You may deal with it. Now, so the opposition wasn't asking to duplicate a process in Parliament, a giant committee in Parliament. That wasn't the issue. And we're going to show you evidence. Mark Golding specifically had spoken directly to them, speaking of an overall task force that would have opposition members on it, right? PSOJ on it, right? Another responsible authority, all dunce. All dunce. But you don't get it. It fly over your head because of who you are. Not capable to process information. So let me try to process it for you. Now, let us get into some of this information to make it very clear to you, right? And I am going to make Philip Palwell speak in clarity so that you and other vloggers who are unable to process information, right, listen. And Vegas, listen keenly now, man. Listen keenly before. Look here. One of the most powerful thing in terms of processing information is listening keenly. Because when you listen keenly and you understand what being spoken, then if you have the brain, you can speak to it. And so then if you are not a keenful listener, then of course you will miss it, just like you're exhibiting your weakness and your weaknesses. So now, listen now, Vegas, that we were not, the People's National Party were not speaking about another parliamentary oversight committee where the People's National Party already sits on the PAC and the PAAC. Now, listen to this now. Let us play Philip Palwell now explaining this. Because, you know, and this is the thing with them, you know. This is the thing with them, you know, in terms of the inability to process information correctly. And so they jump, you understand, because they are so eager, them full of ego, right? So them just jump out and them act emotionally as opposed to think, listen. Listen now, Vegas. Please, listen, Vegas.
Good afternoon. I'm extremely disappointed with Minister Floyd Green for raising a matter in Parliament yesterday, knowing fully well I had stepped out of the chamber and could not respond. He was disingenuous because he failed to communicate to the Parliament the full extent of the correspondence that was shared. I wrote to him on the 7th of November, expressing our view that it was unnecessary for there to be a joint select committee of the Parliament to provide oversight on the expenditures in relation to Hurricane Melissa. It's unnecessary because we already have the PAAC, which is chaired by the opposition, and we would do nothing to undermine that role. I wrote to him again on the 9th, Sunday, the 9th of November, providing further clarity on our call for a national body to do general oversight. And that body would comprise not only government and opposition, but the private sector, NGOs, and others. This was not to be a parliamentary group. It was to be a national body outside of Parliament. And that is how we believe you could achieve a united approach. The minister did not reveal this letter in his discussion in Parliament yesterday, and we believe that that is wrong. I intend now to publish all the correspondence so you can see that the opposition's position is quite clear and unequivocal. And we maintain the view that we should have this national body, and we will perform our role in the PAAC to provide oversight on these expenditures.
All right. So let us speak this now, because we know what Floyd Green carry off. You understand? Speak it at a time when Philip Palwell, you understand, did not have the opportunity to answer him right then and there. And so then the minions like Vegas, who eating out of the trough, right, can get, you understand, to spin it. So Vegas, you have heard it categorically clear. So let me ask you, what did you understand from that, from what you have just heard? Let me repeat it. Where the opposition position is not to duplicate a process of a parliamentary joint oversight committee, because the opposition have already sitting up on the PAAC.
You get that? And what the opposition is now asking for, and let me put it in a terms where you can understand, Vegas. The opposition position is not to duplicate a joint committee in Parliament, oversight committee, right? Dealing with, right, Hurricane Melissa, right? As it relates to AIDS and insurance monies and so forth. What the opposition is saying, that there should be an independent entity out of Parliament so as not to duplicate the process, but to provide what I call an extra layer of protection regarding to accountability as it relates to checks and balance. So they are strengthening the accountability system by one, the opposition already sits in Parliament and the Parliamentary Committee, the PAAC, right, that supervise, right, as it relates to government expenditure. We have to break it down for you in Vegas. We have to break it down for you in all done. And so then, there's no need to duplicate that. What needs to be done is to provide an extra layer, right, independent of the Parliament, so they can act, you understand? I mean, independently and bring more focus to checks and balance. Do you get that, Vegas? Do you get that? Mighty God, that's so you're done, brother. Hey, how you see? How you claim say you have associate degree? Oh, you get it? Oh, you get your associate degree? Oh, you get it? You expose yourself that you're all dunce. You this stuff. Anyway, let me give you another evidence. Let us go to the media release of Mark Goley. Unbelievable as it relates to these people. Big and dunce and come on social media, right? You're dunce like George Davis. Now, PNP clarifies position and oversight and governance of Hurricane Melissa relief efforts. Now, Kingston, Jamaica, November 12, 2025. Let the People's National Party talk to you now. The People's National Party wishes to clarify its position regarding the government's announcement of a proposed joint select committee of Parliament to oversee the national relief, recovery, and reconstruction efforts arising from Hurricane Melissa. Listen now, all done. The opposition has been consistent, one, and unequivocal in its recommendations to the government since the passage of Hurricane Melissa. Now listen, all done. The leader of the opposition, Mark Goley, MP, wrote to the Prime Minister on October 29, calling for the establishment of a broad-based national task force comprising of representatives of the government, opposition, private sector, and civil society to ensure transparency, accountability, and unity in the management and distribution of local and overseas relief resources. Now, everybody knows that the government is kleptocratic. So as much we want to put on layers of protection, layers of checks and balance, and this particular government, yeah, because this particular government, yeah, a scammer government, which you involved with it, Vegas, scammer government. So it was not that the that the opposition was seeking to duplicate a process as it relates to having an oversight committee, right, in Parliament to monitor, right, the transparency and the accountability right, of distribution of local and overseas relief sources. What Margolin is asking for, if you don't comprehend it or your brain don't comprehend it, is an extra protection, is an extra layer of protection of checks and balance. Do you get this, Vegas? Camel Dirty Duns. This was again stated by Margolin at a press conference held by the opposition on November 3, 2025. Take that away, Oni. We have to start to segment it and speak to him slowly to make him get it, you know. Because we are real dunce this, you know, man. Now, let us show you why we need the checks and balance. And again, I am going to praise Dean Jackson Miller to have done wonderful job, because Dean Jackson Miller knows very well what can happen if we take the eyes off the ball where this government is concerned as it relates to checks and balance. The move that Dean Jackson had seen as it relates to the Prime Minister run and grab up ADPEM, no, that is very suspicious. So look, and the questions Dean Jackson Miller is asking, look, this we don't need. We need checks and balance after checks and balance when it comes to this government, yeah?
All right, so I'm still asking about this independent oversight committee. Hasn't been set up, but I promise you I'm going to keep asking, all right? I'm Deon Jackson Miller. Thank you so much for joining me. Time for tea. Now, hurricane relief supplies and money have already started to pour into Jamaica, all right? And we have to have proper oversight and accountability. As I said in my last video, the 2-foot puss them, gear up themselves, them try get ready for thief off the Hurricane Melissa money. We have to make sure that doesn't happen. So let's start off with my questions at the November 11, 2025 Hurricane Melissa response press conference.
Morning, Deon Jackson Miller.
Well, Deon Jackson, I thank you that you come to that realization that the 2-foot push them, they gear up. And as a result of the 2-foot push them gearing up Deon Jackson, Margolin have to ask for extra protection, an extra layer of protection. You understand me? I say, for a national task force. So, Deon, kudos to you. I'm glad you recognize the 2-foot push them. Go on, honey.
BJ. First question, we heard the death toll and the missing. Is there any estimate though of how many other deaths are being investigated to ascertain whether or not they're connected to the hurricane? Also, there's been a suggestion to pass purpose-built legislation to frame the recovery effort. Is Cabinet giving any consideration to that? Third, continuing to ask about the Independent Oversight Committee. Last press conference, you told me Cabinet was continuing to talk about it. Mm-hmm. And my final question for now has to do with proactive disclosure. Why isn't there some kind of mechanism via online, website, whatever, to give real-time information in terms of the recovery effort, money coming in, for instance, expenditure, things like shelters, recovery drops, relief drops, I beg your pardon, all that kind of information, JPS, NWC, all of that could be wrapped in so that anyone can access the information, as opposed to this very tightly curated way of delivering information via the press conferences that's happening now. And for clarity, I'm not saying don't have the press conferences. I'm saying in addition to.
Yeah. All right. Those were several questions. I don't think I got all of them written down. But in terms of the oversight body, there is going to be an oversight body. And I should let you know that yesterday in Cabinet,
So people, you hear it. There is going to be an oversight, future tense. You know, this body should have already set up long time. So this goes to show you that this government is trying to do everything to suppress checks and balance. So based on what Muppet just said, imagine how many relief is coming in, monies been coming in, and no oversight body has not set up yet. But want you to make it clear and try to understand. Moped. Go ahead, Moped.
We were looking at the overarching governance framework, looking at what has happened globally. So our international partners were there with us, including the World Bank, looking at what has worked globally.
Now you are look on what worked globally. Now Jamaica, I want to come here. I want to come here and let me know years. Is Hurricane Melissa is the first hurricane that come to Jamaica? I want to know if it is Hurricane Melissa is the first hurricane that come to Jamaica. That at this point after Melissa, you are looking on what other looking globally to take examples. So then, out of what you are saying here, Dana, you're telling Jamaica that you're telling the whole world that your government was not prepared. Now that you just said. If you at this point in time, post Melissa, and you are looking now globally to take examples from global approach, it simply means that you didn't prepare. Isn't there evidence that you are saying that you're unprepared, your government unprepared? Go ahead. Still I listen to you.
Because one of the things you want is to make sure that whatever we do in Jamaica, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We had an office after Hurricane Ivan that worked. We also have what has happened overseas, and we're looking at what it could look like in Jamaica. And I think Cabinet indicatively approved a structure that has a partnership council as that main body, but we're going to be continuing to discuss it some more. So, but whatever we do, there is going to be an oversight mechanism that's made up of civil society, the opposition.
Okay, there are going to be an oversight mechanism. So then, when you never have none in place, Hurricane Melissa is the first hurricane that come to Jamaica. Go ahead.
And the church as a part of that oversight.
All right. So at the first press conference I went to, I asked about this independent oversight committee. We were told at the time, listen out for an announcement from the Prime Minister. Well, the PM didn't announce that. He did announce a joint select committee of Parliament that would oversee the recovery effort. Very, very good move. We still need the independent oversight committee. At the second press briefing I went to, I asked again. I was told Cabinet was discussing it and what form and structure it should take, which is basically the same question I got when I asked the third time, which leads me to believe this is not a priority, right? There's no reason an oversight committee could not have been already named. There are templates.
Okay, Dean Jackson, well, that is what I am saying, taking the same turn. Why an oversight committee had not installed as yet? It goes to show you their lack of preparation. So I want to point out something clear here now, in terms of what Dean Jackson said, that it is Andrew Ones is talking about a giant parliamentary committee, not Mark Golin. Mark Golin is asking for an independent committee, task force. You understand? So that you can have an extra layer of protection of accountability. And that is why now Dian is saying, okay, if the Prime Minister is talking about giant oversight committee in a Parliament, not Mark Golin. So we want you to hear that. We want Vegas to hear that too, Dian is also in agreement that also an independent task force, as it relates to what Mark Golin spoke about, need to be set up as well. You must listen and process proper. So come Vegas, listen.
In place for this kind of thing, and you can always tweak and adjust and add people and add expertise as you go along. But it's not happening. And importantly, don't buy into this idea that the priority now has to be about relief. Obviously, it's important to get relief, to get aid to all the people out there who are suffering. But it's just as important that we have the accountability and the oversight going hand in hand with the relief to make sure that what is supposed to get to the victims of the hurricane actually does get to them.
Too much, because I'm just making reference from that. People, all right. Dean Jackson, people must go over there, subscribe to Dean, right? And hit the notification bell. That when time Dan Jackson have something, right? Make sure you can get it first. So this is what we're talking about. Good journalism. Solid investigative journalism. Dan Jackson hitting the nail on the head. That checks and balance is extremely important. And so then now we clarified the situation as it relates to the oversight committee, just to make Vegas understand. Boy, you really that. Now, let me just bring in Father Melting Pot. You understand, for break it down for Vegas as well. Melting Pot, step in.
Yeah, with Vegas now, you know, say, it's just a lie him come tell on behalf of the Prime Minister. Whether I'm have knowledge or not, him duty is to come out and lie. Yeah? Because remember, you know, the Prime Minister, everybody from the cabinet, they are all liars, you know. So when them employ a guy like Vegas round them, you know, it's not for him come say something different from what them are saying, you know. It's for him to come and dance what them are say. So you know him will come out and tell lie. Yeah? Just like how him tell lie, say him have an associate degree. Where we know the only associate degree where Vegas have is a degree that allow him to join the association of Big Mama, Draws Davis, Queenie, Terry Longtongue, Bell Nevis, Fish Headless, Guy Lizard, Warthog, and many more.
Repeat that, no, man. You can't just run back that part. You have to repeat that, man. Repeat that. Repeat that.
Yeah, well, everybody knows say my blog him have degree, associate degree. Well, to our knowledge, we know him not gonna wait as it relates to university for getting a degree. Yeah? So the only degree where we know this guy have is a degree that allow him to join the association of Big Mama, Draws Davis, Queenie, Terry Longtongue, Bell Nevis, Fish Headless, Guy Lizard, Warthog, and many more. This is why I'm a benefit. This is why the man put on him music career. Musical is not give him what them are give him, man. Remember, I enjoy life to the fullest now, you know. Remember, I was lonely after Peter King drop out, you know. So I'm not being a more Black Widow anymore. If they're on a group of people who truly love and embrace him. And I give him things to comfort him. So we never expect him to come out and speak the truth. Him cannot. Because the actual him come from all of them are liars. You understand? Because remember when them got Big Mama, you know, the first thing we have to go in the incubator, you know. You have to go back in the incubator, man. I reconstruct him now for tell lie. Him not talk lyrics again, him tell lie. But him can't go and depend on you, you know. Because if you give us feel like the land you get and all the goodies them where Andrew give you belongs to Jamaica, you can't hold on for them, make a sad mistake because we are going to investigate the illegality of them. You understand? Make sure you have documents and invites for sure so you buy land. Because I don't know who is due for you to get land. Anyhow, I like the stance where Dan Jackson Miller take.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, kudos to her to come out and speak strong as a journalist. Right now, I share one of mainstream journalists right now. Yeah. You know the way it's supposed to be, you know, all up in a Jamaica where you question them and you question them rigidly. All when them send all Moped Dana come out, you push back Dana because she a garbage, you know. Because she don't say she one of the biggest puppet right now. She one of the biggest puppet, you know. And that puppet when I do nothing to enhance her looks either. This big old Moped square face. She look like she had a twin for lollipop jaw. You understand? Because be a lie she a tell on behalf of them, you know. Be a lie and I come read them look nasty garbage PR where them send her out with. No, the Prime Minister cannot Just a talk about he's going to. We are going to. No, we don't want to hear that. Because you must know, say, you're supposed to have these things in place to provide an extra layer of protection for the things that we are coming, where the accountability side is. So if you want to use the Giant Select Committee from inner Parliament, no problem. But Marky G want an independent one outside of Parliament. And Dan Jax Miller endorsed that as well, and the whole of we around here support that. Because, it's surprised to know that Dan Jax Miller knows on a 2-foot post. We didn't know a long time. As some know Dan Jackson fire up here now, she not hold back nothing. She call it out.
Yeah.
She know not 2-foot post.
Yes.
And she know not chopper. And she right now, I looks at Jamaica, can't go the way it go because for her career now allow her to get a good salary. You understand? Because the media thing are water down. RGR last money. Media thing I want, so Dan Jackson come strength this thing, and me have to applaud her for that. Now, I hear Moped talk something, and I know say she come out a lie. Moped said the government now in a discussion with IMF and World Bank, something like that, as to, the model where they want to take. IMF no want to hear nothing from garbage Prime Minister Andrew Willis, man. That's enough to know. Because IMF not have time for your garbage, IMF not have time for him. And how did Andrew Willis go into this type of discussion with IMF, but it not make news? And first we hear that IMF not need to tell Andrew nothing about what to do in terms of this category 5 disaster and anything else going forward, because Andrew must have experienced burial and other one before, like Ivan and all them things in him time, whether I'm a prime minister or not. So you're supposed to learn from what happening in your space and environment. And your critical thinking skill. You're supposed to process how you can deal with them things. Yeah? But you can only get good from a guy that is good, And Andrew not good. That's why Andrew find ways and mean how to deal with this thing upon a level where, a whole heap of hole in it. Because Andrew want to find way of a thief. Andrew can't help himself from thief the things that want to come to Jamaica. Because he feel like said the country belong to him. And when the thing come at Jamaica for the people, him it come to. And if him feel for give him, give. If him not feel for give him, not give. That's how Andrew run the place. Dan Jackson Miller, them know about it. We know about it. And we are saying we can't allow Andrew with all of them things in him hand. And there's no accountability because there's no checks and balance being done. It cannot be done by the Giant Select Committee where him want to bring from Parliament, him friend them. It can't be. Marky G call for the right thing. The extra protection layer, we independent. You understand? That means you need a watchdog over Andrew. And that Marky G I tell the whole world, and I tell him, we need a watchdog over him. One way him not have no affiliation to. One way it will take him long time to corrupt them. You understand? Because Andrew corrupt everything will come around him, That's why if me I do something now to push back Andrew. And me I run all the organization. Every year me change up my personnel, We can't make them get too compatible with this guy nearby. You mad? Him find way to corrupt the people because Andrew run the country under dictatorship. I remember every dictator, have to have a bag full of tricks of corruption, And that dictator survive after. And that Andrew survive after. That's why I see him drop that piece of shit you gave us. Yeah? And reward them with land. Oh, if you reward a piece of nastiness with land. Him land the side of Black Widow Peter King. And there's a film piece of land there, Side I'm Black Widow, Peter King. You understand? So who's giving us now where we are use our resource and facilitate? Because Andrew have it again. What Vegas a contribute? Lies, propaganda, PR, come and do the deflection to the truth. We can't have this go on in the country, man. Right now, it grieves me every day when me sit down and look and see Andrew Peter pop up, you know. And a joke business, you know. It grieves me because I know that guy is not supposed to be the Prime Minister. Me know him not supposed to be the man around the country. I know Andrew is supposed to talk about now, you know. I would get the change where the country deserve. I know who wouldn't have them conversation right now. Marky G would have run the thing the right way.
Exactly.
You understand? Would have focused on other elements in our society. But this guy, we have to find a way to end him career, man. Yeah? Because anytime we will lynch him, you know, him can't be no more politician, you know, like what Mr. Them do, I bring back all some nasty criminal like Muako, you know. All Muako were a thief, you know, original thief. Original thief. Muako do something one how the justice system make that pass them by. Take away a family real estate. Now give them zilch from 1982. You understand? From 1982, you know, people. You know, a 43 year that, you know. And the people them not get nothing. And this piece of shit you sit down in our parliament, same way. Yeah? Criminal! So you know, I'm just strive on criminal being around him. Because him bring her back. You understand? So, Gigas, what we have said right now to you, yeah? Because you was Vegas one time, you know. Yeah, in your music career. So you decide to elevate yourself to a new dimension now and go get your associate degree. You're not Vegas no more, you know. You're Gigas. Gigas. Your degree allow you to participate with people of that type of degree as well. You understand? I don't want you come and speak on behalf of the people and where politics is concerned. Because you don't know shit all about politics. You don't know what you're speaking. And you only come to come muddy the water. You understand? And you don't have the people and the ghetto people and interest at heart. And the ghetto people and put you where you is. Make it have a name. Make you could have go outside of Jamaica. Make you could have eat food because we don't know you have nothing else. Yeah? The only thing we know you have now is a career where most people don't want. Your career where you have now, a lot of people don't want it. You understand? Because a career that don't look good, it not smell good, and it is not good. So please see where you is underneath Big Mama. You don't need to come out for and do all this. Because you talk about PMP can't, you know, come to terms so them lose election. PMP did not lose no election. You Andrew Wallace and the whole of you steal the election. That is what you do. And you know so you are benefiting from that right now. That's why we know so you're a scammer. You're a piece of shit. And you're supposed to know so you no need to gain a land. Your land the right to spare Peter King rest. And that's how your piece of land there, you know. Because remember, you know, nobody else now want nothing to do with you. Your circle where you're in is a bubble. And even if it bursts, people are run from the water where I come out of it. A bacteria water come from phone bubble. Nobody don't want it. So we ask you, Gigas, leave Jamaica business alone. Jamaica people don't mix up in your type of business where you carry out right now because you left all music fraternity, you know. And gone eat chop and eat all of them people where you hear me call, you know. Me don't know you breathe when time war taxi down upon you, you know. I don't know how you breathe when war tags sit down upon you. That big piece of shit over the tree. Yeah, and when Big Mama clamp you, oh, you breathe. Eh? When Draws Davis hug you, oh, you breathe. And don't mention Geico Lizard. Because when that lap, you know, it's like a snake, it's like a rattler. So understand yourself and know, so just leave the politics thing alone, man. Nobody now out here wait for hear you say nothing. Because when you come, you know, you just talk, you know, to just make sure no say your nourishment coming at your tube line. Yeah? Your nourishment where you get come through your tube line. Because remember, your system now change up to a recalibrate system. So how you live, nobody not even want to participate with you. So leave people business alone. Tell the Prime Minister if you want to do something on behalf of the Jamaican people. Tell the Prime Minister to stop the stealing. Tell the Prime Minister say, all the land them you give him can't take it back because you don't deserve it. Yeah? And him a give away too much thing out of the country now to people like you, undesirable people. Yeah? Too much of our land I give away to undesirable people. Because Andrew, I don't know why Andrew beat all a piece of shit like you with land. You don't deserve nothing, you know. You don't deserve nothing. You let down Jamaican people till it look bad. Yeah? You let down all Peter King. As much as him gone. When him see you become now, him never know you'll turn out to be like that. Because when Peter King did have you secretly, you know. Now you're publicly gone with the man life. You put it out there. You're showing your true colors. And you cannot help you in this crisis where you lies yourself right now. Because remember, you know, the more you go against the ghetto people, is the more the ghetto people come at you. And the ghetto people them reject you in no uncertain manner. Because you sell them out. You sell out ghetto people for Andrew. Andrew don't need to have you around him. You cannot help Andrew Holness. Because everybody know who you is. Yeah? You're nothing more than a piece of shit and a garbage. Leave politics alone. Several times a year you run out and try, you know, condemn People's National Party. Understand for People's National Party take. Yeah? Mark Walling know what I want. Mark Walling I need to hear from you as to which direction to go. Mark Walling say want an independent committee, yeah, to oversee this whole procedure. Yeah? And that the man want. And we don't want you to come go on like some Mark Walling a dunce like you. I don't know what you want. You don't know what you want. Music choose you and you refuse music and go and itch up in a association boys club and I yield back the floor.
All right. That is Melting Pot. Melting Pot, you said that Big Mama and Draws Davis continue to sit on Vegas. And as a result, him can't breathe. But them they start a long sit down pan. Might be no soon can breathe. I don't know. I can move on now.
Well, he might get enough now so him can go do reconstruction. You ever tell him saying him body recalibrate because you know, see all him, you know, see him all a bleach.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone. Now watch this. So Buju, the Gargamel answer Darrell Vaz. I could tune in and hear what the Gargamel has to say. You understand? Definitely anticipating. Come in, Gargamel. All right. Yeah, man, when the Gargamel speak, you don't know, say the Gargamel speak for them heart, you know. So the Gargamel now respond now to Darrell Vaz. Let us see what the Gargamel
that could hold a whole lot more items. And really and truly, I don't think a barrel would be packed like that. Unless Buju Banton take out some of the items, then put aside and start record. Is that the case? The entertainment feed community. Do share your thoughts on that. Moving on. And as they are about to move on to the next topic, I realized that Buju Banton hit back at Darrell Vaz. Buju reshared the picture of the barrel with the caption stating, Minister Vaz, with all due respect, I can see that you remain unaware of how things went. The goods were not taken from the plane to our trucks, but instead taken from the plane to an area we had no sight of. On day one, our persons waited for some 7+ hours for clearance of the items and for the trucks to be loaded. On day two, the same thing happened, with only two difference, being that the time they took to get us the items from customs was a shorter wait time. Seals were broken and things were taken. I have no reason to create mischief nor make up stories. As usual, you have tried to make this political. For your information, the packages on the flight for PMP MPs were donated and placed there by various Florida commissioners and donors. I allowed them the space on the plane as this was about Jamaica, not about PNP or JLP, as they are all suffering. The reality is that the system is broken. If you took the time out to read the comments under the post, you would realize that though I may have been the first public figure to come forward with this issue, I am not the first person to have experienced it. The common thread continues to be lack of accountability and trying to shame and blame persons who speak out. It is extremely disappointing that this is the attitude and approach you have chosen to take, but not surprising. Still, the entertainment
All right,
community
away.
do share your
Now
thoughts
we
on that.
have,
Moving on.
Buju Banton responding to Darrell Vaz. And Buju Banton is more than appropriate in his response, right? And now we are getting some more information that, again, we goes back now to the CCTV situation. Because what Buju Banton is now saying that the seal was broken, right? And whosoever believed that the package belongs to them, they went in and take it out. No, it goes back.
But remember, he said that they took it to an area where there was no sight. They couldn't see what was going on with the items, and it was delayed over there for over 7+ hours on the first day.
Yes. So they have no sight, mean physical sight
of what they're doing.
Of what they were doing, right? So to show you the intention that put in it, So then, Darrell Vaz, this is what I'm going to say to you, Darrell Vaz. Right? And let us, because, okay, all right. You came out and you respond to Buju. Well, Buju responded, right? And speak and give, some more deeper details, right? Because what the man is saying now that you understand, the containers were taken to some areas that they couldn't witness anything what is happening, and the seals, right, were broken. Now, this is what needs to be done, Darrell Vaz. The Airport Security Authority, you understand, who are running the CCTV. Darrell Vaz, before you come out, please, for transparency, I am going to put a task for transparency and mainstream media. We want you to follow up on this. Ask Darrell Vaz to make reference of the CCTV based on the date and the time, specifically as it relates to what Buju Banton is speaking about. So we don't want to hear Darrell Vaz politicizing, right, the issue and bring politics into it, because exactly that's what he's doing. This needs to be investigated. People need to be disciplined. So we are asking Darrell Vaz, if you cannot come out and speak directly to CCTV evidence, don't speak at all. Because we know that CCTV, voila. I hope you don't come out and say the CCTV was not working enough. Because that would be convenient. And number one, you can't have, you understand as it relates to the airport, right? And monitoring the security and that system being broken and it don't fix. So now you nobody come out with that enough. We are asking you, Darrell Vaz, that when you come out and speak, please reference CCTV evidence. If you can't reference CCTV evidence, this is what Mystic Sensation is saying. You, Darrell Vaz, is also a collaborator. Right? Either directly or indirectly. If you choose to have an awareness, and let me explain when I say you're a collaborator. If you choose to have an awareness of the situation and you want to suppress the information, then you are guilty. You hear that, Darrell Vaz? You are guilty. That is what we call accessory after the fact. And I am telling you the charges. You are guilty. That is what we call accessory after the fact. So if you know this and you choose not to come out with it, then you have a problem. And please, when you're coming out, reference CCTV. We don't want to hear anything as it relates to the political spin. CCTV. Yes, let me take this call. Yes, caller, you're on Mystic Sensation Live. Go ahead.
Mystic Cameron from Florida, brother. How are you, man?
Blessings, my brother.
I am enjoying the show, and I must, before I even get into it, I must give you your props. I see your growth in the show, brother. Your numbers are looking good.
Thank you.
And I'm in Florida, and I can tell you that every well-thinking Jamaican who cares about the country speaks about your show and speaks about information that you're giving to the public, brother.
Love that.
Respect to you for the work you've been doing. I had to say that, and I had to give you your flowers, man.
Thanks.
You know what I mean? You're doing a great job. I also want to give props to that Jamaica, to what's the young lady from the Jamaica media? What's her name?
Deanne Jackson Miller.
I have to give her flowers because you know what, man? I've listened to her commentary and her questions too since the hurricane, and she's the only journalist in Jamaica that is asking the right question and speaking the truth about what's happening. And I was a skeptic of hers because I know I didn't like how she handled Portia when Portia was in power.
Yes.
But I have seen, you know, sometimes people grow.
Yes.
And you can see their growth. And I has grown since then, and I got to give her flowers for speaking truth to power, using her platform wisely to benefit the Jamaican people who are suffering.
I endorse that.
And so I had to give her props. Let me tell you something, man. So let's get into the meat of the matter. Darrell Vaz is like the gift that just don't stop giving. What a buffoon. He's like the gift that don't stop giving. I mean, every time he talks, he put his foot in his mouth. And the problem with Darrell Vaz is that he doesn't recognize that someone in his party needs to tell him, bro, you are a buffoon. You don't speak them things that you don't have the facts about, nor you have the knowledge about. It makes you look like a buffoon. When you come out to defend corruption and defend the wrong and defend wrongs, you look like a buffoon, bro. You can't defend corruption and you can't defend things when it's wrong. And you know that them thief, the man stuff, you know so the people them are war for thief, but yet still you come out and try to turn it around at the man and try to make give someone else the blame when you don't know the facts. If there was nothing to cover up, why didn't the person in charge of shipping come out and give the facts and the details themselves? This is not for minister to speak about, because you know the details are the facts.
Exactly.
Obviously you don't, because Butcher tell you don't have nothing. You just talk out of your pocket. You have no facts. And shame on you, Minister Vaz. You're a shame to Jamaica, man. You've been a shame over and over and over. From the bus scandal to this now. You just like the damn jackass that just keep giving and giving and giving. Minister Vaz, get a hold of yourself, brother. Wind yourself down, step back, roll back. You don't have the acumen, nor do you have the capacity to make comment on things that you don't know. You don't know the capacity to run the ministry that you're running, Minister Vaz. Have some shame, my brother. Have some shame and roll yourself back. I just have to address that.
Thank you.
Deadman Mackenzie, you are another gift that just keep giving. You're not a buffoon. No, let me put it. Desmond McKenzie, you're a fool. Because when you come out and tell people to go back to shelters, until today, since this hurricane, you have not told us you have not given us the address of one shelter. Where are the shelters you're talking about? Why don't you give people specific information? Where's the shelter? What community? Where they need to go? And what's inside the shelter? And what amenities are there? You're telling people to go back inside of the shelter. Where are the shelters, Deadman Mackenzie? Can you give us some addresses? Can you give us some location for those of us who don't know? You just come up with these... The Jamaica Labour Party come up with these general statements of what to do and where to go, but no specifics, because they're just a bunch of buffoons. You come out and tell people to go into shelter. Is there electricity there? Is there water there? Is there facilities for people to defecate there? What are you telling people to do? Because there's no shelters in the areas that was devastated. Every shelter is devastated. So what are you telling people to go, brother? What are you saying out of your mouth? Does it make sense? Does it make sense to anybody what they're saying? Mystic, the only thing worse than the hurricane, brother, is the response of the government. That's the only thing worse than the hurricane is the response of the government.
Exactly.
And And as of today, man, I am telling you, as a Jamaican who love my people, love my country, I am asking for the Prime Minister to step down. The Prime Minister does not have the capacity or the moral fortitude to handle the situation. This is bigger than the Prime Minister. It's bigger than the Jamaica Labour Party. We have well-thinking, well-thought-out people in the country that can steer the country and get us through this. At this rate, Mystic, Jamaica will never recover in 100 years. Will never recover because remember, going into it, there was no plan. There was no mediation plan, and there was no post-hurricane plan. So at no point in time did you have a plan or preparations for the hurricane, considering that you just came off a hurricane last year. So why should we now believe that you can steer us out of a devastating hurricane or this kind of devastation when you have no plan going in or to come out? So why should the Jamaica people trust Andrew Holness and his government to steer Jamaica out of this? He has no idea. Listen, from the very moment that this government, the Jamaica government, and Andrew Holness decide to shut out the opposition, that tells you that this was a money grab. All of them, the object for these guys is to full them car and full them pocket and go about them business. There's nothing here that tells you that they believe in transparency, that they believe in fair equity distribution of anything. There's nothing to tell you that. Have anyone seen any indicator that these guys are dealing with transparency and fair equitable distribution of the aid and the services that's coming into the country? There's nothing to prove that to anyone. These people are just out to full their car. And I'm telling you, when you get generators to give to the population and you tell people you're going to lend out generators, what the hell does that mean, bro? When you lend out generators to people who don't know light and water and is not going to have it for a long time to come, when you lend them a generator, how do you expect to get it back? And what's the period of time that you're lending them a generator for? This is so disingenuous and asinine and ridiculous, and the Prime Minister to even come out and say that. And these are the things that tell you that there's no direction, no thought-out policy, and they don't know where they're going, and they don't know when they're coming. And for Jamaica people to sit down and make Andrew Holness steering them down, steering the country into an abyss, it is disturbing, it is disheartening, because right now we need the best minds and the best heart to steer us out of this problem. We can't have people who just want to full them car and full them pocket and go about them business. That's not going to help the people. That's not going to help the people. The government is so slow. It's so slow in providing shelter for the people, so slow in providing relief. It's because they don't have a plan and they have no intention to. If you listen to what they're saying, Mystic, tell me if it makes sense or nonsense what they're saying. It does not make sense. I haven't heard one statement that makes sense. I have not heard a plan. Have you heard any single plan or direction from the government of how they're going to steer this, how they're going to govern out of this, how they're going to organize to get the people back out of this? Because listen, 90% of who lost the most can rebuild.
And that's true.
Right? So listen, the bread basket of the country is gone. Livestock, vegetation is gone. Where the young banana, orange fruits is coming from? Where's the beef coming from? Where's the goat coming from? Where's the pig coming from? Where's that going to come from now to feed the people, to feed the population? 40% of the country's economy is based on agriculture. What percentage of that is left? What is the plan? We haven't heard anything from the Prime Minister in regards to this. We haven't heard anything. We hear them talk about revive tourism. Tourism in my ass. Punch, you can't feed people unless you put them in shelters. You cannot feed people unless you have them in shelters. People need a hot meal. How many people have been going without a hot meal for 2 weeks now? Drinking water and getting box food, and that's not helping anyone. You need to provide adequate shelter for people, and so you can start feeding the people. You can't clear areas with people roaming around in areas. You have to move the people so you can clear the communities so people can start rebuild and salvage what's left. The first course of action in a disaster like this is to find shelter for the people, because without shelter you can't do nothing for them, brother. And apparently the government is ass backward because they're doing everything and putting shelter last. They're ass backward, and let me show you how disturbing it is. We have hotels, we have empty hotels. We have the National Stadium, and you're telling me it takes 2 weeks after before you can put tarps and you can talk about shelter for the people. This should have been the first course of action in evacuation and then post hurricane, finding shelter for people, putting people who might not be able to rebuild. What is the plan for these things? What is the government strategy? You know what I mean? How are they going to rebuild the agricultural economy? You know what I mean? Talking about giving vouchers. What is the voucher program that they're talking about?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Talking about restarting commerce. You have to have a plan. It's not just talk. You have to have a viable plan. You know what I mean? And we haven't heard anything coming from Andrew Holness or his government. But what we do see is a lot of photos, a lot of people behind podium talking about things that they don't know, and we hear a lot of promises that will never be fulfilled. Will never be fulfilled. And while all this show is going on by Andrew Holness and his government, we're losing life, we're losing livelihood, and we're losing our kids. And Andrew Holness, what are you doing about this, my brother? We're losing our kids, we're losing livelihoods, we're losing half of our country. While you're there pitter-pattering about, you and your ministers are fooling their craw, boxing out the opposition because you're afraid of transparency. Why are you so afraid of transparency, my man? Why are you so afraid, Mr. Prime Minister? Why can't you just let people see what's happening and what's going on?
That's the question.
You have 28 bank accounts and $500 million. You have many properties. How much more can you consume, Mr. Prime Minister? How much more can you consume? Where you going to put it? Where you going to do with it? You have generational wealth that you have accumulated from Jamaica taxpayers and the people. What more are you going to do, Mr. Prime Minister? How more can you take and consume? Unless you're trying to be like Elon Musk. You must be trying to be like Elon Musk because you are busting at the seams with wealth, and we have a nation suffering, and you will not be transparent. You will not get the right people in the right places to do the right thing. All we can see is your cronies and your ministers on podiums, dressed every day, talking and talking and talking, while our kids are dying. Our women are homeless and out in the elements, and people are losing life and livelihoods. It's disgraceful, Mystic, and it hurts my heart. It hurts my heart as a Jamaican to see what's happening. As bad as things is, in 1988, when we had that big bad hurricane, Edward Seaga was Prime Minister. You know, the first thing he did was reach out to the opposition leader and said, let's work together. Let's work together, because that's the only way the country can recover. The only way the country can recover. If you don't reach across and join hands, we will never recover from this, because this kind of devastation is years and years and years of recovery. But you can only help the situation by being transparent and reaching out to the opposition for help, engaging people for help, not hiding behind a lot of words, a lot of isms and schism, and a lot of promises, and coming on the podium and talking a lot of talk, and then making promises. Every time someone criticizes the Prime Minister about his handling of the hurricane, or any one of the ministers, their first course of action is to come out and try to rebut or try to defend their position, or try to attack someone. At this stage of the game, you shouldn't have any time for that. You should be working diligently, working effortlessly to rebuild people's life and save people's life. Because this is what it's about. And for you and Bojo, our brother, we're sorry for the atrocities that you encountered.
Exactly.
Trying to help your people, my brother. We are sorry. As a Jamaican, I gotta tell you, my brother, we are sorry for that kind of atrocities while you're trying to help our people in a time of devastation. And the government, instead of helping you to recover your stuff, they come out and try to criticize and blame you for helping your people, because all they're trying to do is cover up their cronies fooling their craw with your stuff and our people's stuff. It's disgraceful. And it has, at some point in time, we have to get this corrected. You know, and you know what, one more last thing, Mystic. You know what's so disturbing? There is an air of skepticism here in the States about the government and people giving things. Jamaica could be getting more, but people are reluctant to give. People are reluctant to send because the government is so corrupt. And that's a fact. That is a fact. I've heard so many people in my community saying we don't want to give because we don't want to send to the government because the government is corrupt. I've never heard in a hurricane or a disaster like this where what people are calling for is oversight. For the mere fact that we're talking about oversight, Mystic, it speaks to the corruption of the government. Because there should never be an argument that is being interjected into the recovery. There should never be a conversation. But the conversation now is based on transparency and trust. How can we be having this conversation in a time of devastation? How can we be having this? It speaks to the larger issue of the government and their corruption and their crookery. It speaks to that, and that is the only reason why we're here talking about this kind of stuff. Because while people are losing their lives, losing their livelihood, and half of the country is being devastated, is going down into the abyss. And we're talking about transparency. We're talking about watching over each other, watching the government, what they're doing. My God, man, I've never heard this in any other country in the world in a disaster. I've never heard this about any government. It has never been spoken about any government in any natural disaster in the world. I've never heard it. And if anyone have heard it, this kind of conversation about any other country that suffers a disaster, please let us know, because I've never heard it. I've seen devastation all over the world, even in corrupt government, and we've never heard this kind of conversation. But it's a topic of conversation in the Jamaica devastating hurricane relief. We need transparency. We need independent body to watch. Come on, Jamaican people. We're better than this, as a people. We're way better than this. We can't let the Jamaica Labour Party drag us down to the abyss. And Andrew Holness and his cronies drag us down to the abyss. And I'm disappointed in the PSOJ, and I'm disappointed in civil society, because PSOJ have a lot to lose in this. Have a lot to lose. Because if commerce doesn't get back, they're the ones who are going to lose. Okay? So they have a lot to lose in this. So they need to step up and hold Andrew Holness and his government accountable. They need to ask for transparency in every single area of this recovery. And they need to demand a concrete, comprehensive plan to save life, for recovery and rebuilding. Not the bullshit that's coming out of Andrew Holness' mouth. Because this is ridiculous now. We're going in 2 weeks. By the time in another month or so, it's 2026. And it's 2027, 2028. And people's homes and lives not going to be restored at this rate. So we need with Jamaica people, we need to step up. I'm asking PSOJ, please step up. Civil society, ask and demand more from your government and your prime minister. And if you can't get more, ask them to step down so that well-thinking Jamaicans can take the lead and get our country restored and save lives, my brother. That's my piece, man. I have to say my piece.
Blessings, man. And I tell you that you were well measured, right? You articulate the issues, right, that are to be articulated. My brother, well said. And I thank this. No, this is what really, insight as it relates to when you have a caller who, very articulate and, of course. But everything that he said is true, 100%. And I want to say, caller, thank you so much. Right? And yeah, man, speak again.
Let me tell you something. Vegas is a has-been and a never was. When you mention his name and give him ear, you're making him relevant. Vegas is irrelevant. He's not had a hit in over a decade.
That's true.
He's not been a headline on a show in over a decade.
That's true.
He's not been relevant for the longest time. You know what? Most time when an artist realize that their career fails, they normally jump into the church to start to preach and sing gospel. He choose politics to revive himself and get himself a straw. It ain't gonna work, Vegas. You're a has-been, and I never was.
Exactly.
Nobody would pay to see him on a show. He's not headliner show in over a decade. He's not had a hit in over 2 decades. The guy is nobody. Don't give him no
All right.
airplay.
So
nobody listens to Vegas.
So Carla,
in any
so
genre,
Carla,
listens to him.
so Carla, what he needs to do, he needs to dance to the rhythm and take for himself.
That's it. You know what I mean? But nobody listens to him. Nobody. If you guys didn't mention his name, I wouldn't even know the dude exists. Nobody listens to that dude anymore. Whether in politics or music. And listen, the dude is done like he's done. And he's just trying to be relevant. He's so irrelevant that he has nothing else to do other than try to be a lapdog for Andrew Holness. That's it. But Vegas is nobody, has nothing, and is going nowhere because politics ain't gonna help him. Okay? Nobody listens to him, and nobody want to listen to him or want to hear him. So Vegas, go find something. Go to farming or go find something. Go church or do something. But stay in your lane. Cause this ain't your lane, brother. It ain't your lane.
Tell him.
Okay?
All right.
Not his name.
All right.
All right, my man.
Bless up yourself, Makala. Right. Really appreciate it. Blessings.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So of course we are going to make Melting Pot close us out with Buju Banton response. Right. Brother Melting Pot, come in and close the show for us. Blessings.
Yeah, man. Boy, I tell you, this caller, big up. Man, touch something, very, very heart-rending, but 100% true.
100%.
Now, as it relates to Buju Banton and them stuff, them now, well, we know how the society run, yeah? And I mean, Buju must know what happening, because them say who feels it knows it, yeah? And we see video with a barrel there, barrel in a pack, so that's an empty barrel basically. But people run out now and I try to, suppress a thing. It don't look good for Bars.
No.
Don't look good for him. You understand? Because he's not speaking from a point of strength, yeah? Because the only thing that could support Bars is if he have the video and I show we and I speak in accordance to the video. You have nothing like that. Yeah. So what Vaz need to do, yeah, and me know it, you know it, and the caller just highlight it, is to leave the relevant authorities to speak on these matters. You don't need politicians to be dipping and diving into everything. But this is what we see. That's why we know these guys are dictators. You understand? And them thin skin. And you must say nothing that go wrong in a society, whether it's a part of the agency or them. Of themselves, like we must just accept anything. But I'm saying to these nastiness, we're not accepting all of these shit. Yeah, a man pay for him thing come in or it come in pan a waiver terms and condition. It belongs to him. You understand? And no seal not supposed to have tampered with and break and all these things. No, it's signs of criminality. When a seal can show you say tamper with a break, say a criminality took place. And the fact that the matter say the seal was tampered with, that shows a criminality go on.
Exactly.
So we don't expect Vaz to come out and a chat shit. Yeah, because Vaz always talk shit, But the criminal them, are the one that may come out and always try to vindicate a thing. You understand? Yeah. We not playing no sorry for the guy. We're not playing a party politics around here, so we attack it as it is. The man thing get tampered with, and the man have all right to talk, and nobody not supposed to come and play down the man opinion as to what happened. Yeah, the man said the thing I'll take we and gone in obscurity, them can't see nothing. We are going. You understand? Them things are supposed to be in an open plan. Where you go to pick up your thing, them are checked by custom. It's supposed to open at the open here. Can't go around in a dark corner. Things are going to miss now. People are going to say that they deny it when, but them so daft. Nobody now pack no barrel like that send down. They're going to a cardboard box when we see in the blue barrel. That's what I put in a cardboard box.
Melting pot. Give us 2 minutes at a time to respond to Petra. Petra asks, my family, why is there a curfew in Westmoreland? This is beyond my scope of comprehension. Please explain to me why the soldiers telling people to stay inside, right? And inside where? Because many houses there blown down. But let me just answer Petra. Petra, this to me seems that the People's National Party constituency has been targeted. Let us ask the question. Did Melissa, right, only come to Westmoreland? It goes to St. Elizabeth, right? It affects Westmoreland. It affects St. James, right? But guess what, Peter? Let me respond to Peter. Guess what, Peter? The fact of the matter, Westmoreland voted out Andrew Ones, right? There are I think 2 seats or 3. Someone can serve me, can correct me if I am wrong. All 2 constituencies in Westmoreland, the Jamaica Labour Party had lost it. And so then it seems like now Westmoreland becomes a political thing. Why they did not target St. Elizabeth, right? Why they did not target elsewhere? Why Westmoreland? Why Westmoreland? So that is my take on it, you understand? To say that, right, to me, it appears to be politically motivated. Go ahead, Melting Pot.
Yeah, I mean, when Carla just, I mean, the person just type in. I'm right, because we did hear this guy, Seaga, talk about them things, Yeah? We did hear him talk about them things, you understand? And we know them are going to bring it in. Because I talk about stronger national coordination and emergency measure. You understand? And this was one of it. State of emergency, but not eminent of regular state of emergency. But see it play out, because a rules to order. Yeah, when the soldier them for out there save life. Yeah, them never did know when time the thing, subside to an extent now, them up on the ground. So our soldier can't walk in the water then. Because when time the water subside off of the land, them going and tell the people them what to do and what not to do. Dictatorship there the country, my brother. My Jamaican people don't have to know that now. If you never know see it, long time we have said dictatorship. Yeah, because this guy Seaga, president of the PSOJ, him did hint of these things. Yeah, him hint of it. And I'm going to tell you all these people, the stakeholder them, remember him called Catherine Silvera, president of the Manufacturer Association. Him go down to Emily G.R. Labour, JCC president. And I'm a side reason that, these are technical and logistical resource. Yeah, the soldier them. Yeah, because them a mention it long time. Yeah, and who them drop and put round there for manage these things. Danville Scrappy Walker, empowered to lead the national command with authority to mobilize resource, direct agency, and engage international partner. Yeah, them talk it. State of public emergency in effected era, but not as our punitive. Yeah, punitive. Yeah, you see what I talk about? So, what the man am focus on, my brother? I know the real issue at hand, The real issue at hand is to restore back the place. Yeah, and in the meantime, provide the people with adequate shelter and food resource. You understand? And when we are talking about food resource, you have about 16 days now. You have to move away from the dryers to make sure them get the 1 cooked meal. If it's even 1 proper cooked meal, bring in all some kettle, bring the generator, them go to the shelter so them can have light. Bring a couple kettle there, set up some little temporary plug-in system. Them can boil water and make tea, give them necessary. Government is a garbage, man. A garbage government, And my people have to understand. Yeah, because one thing, when them talk, me note them, Yeah, that's why this guy Mitchell Seaga with film father track record, you know, I don't know how them people are coming and hold on Jamaica and that dynasty club, you know. Yeah, and that dynasty club. God, them Seaga name have to banish off of the face of Jamaica now, man. You understand? Yeah, the Charles them name for banish off of the face too. Some name for come off our agenda. Call them a criminal, dead man Mackenzie name for go from about you, so we need to stop here them name there. Call them a come from a whole gang, you know. A whole gang from in the 70s, you know. Lollipop Jar night too, you know, from in the 70s. You understand? I remember the blueprint of Seaga have from in the 70s, you know. And it changed the landscape of Jamaica. We can't recover from it all. No. You understand? Because we give these party, we give a party at too much time. So as the PMP come back and try to restore a semblance of order and morality in our society, here comes them with this garbage blueprint, a blueprint of criminality that exists surrounding crime. Yeah? And the crime that we are talking about is murder, drugs and gun trafficking, money laundering, Ponzi scheme. So here we are today, 2025 going into 2026. And we have an issue. Yeah, and the issue we have, it's all about transparency. As the caller rightfully said, we shouldn't be having this conversation, and I said it earlier on. We should be talking about something different. But we have to focus on this matter here. Dan Jackson Miller have to focus on it. Marky G have to focus on it. You understand? Because it is important that the people get the things and not the government. This government has gotten too much out of Jamaica because of Jamaicans. Yeah? And we cannot allow him to continue, brother. Because, hey, sometimes I feel away in myself. That's me. I say, boy, I never want to talk the things. Trust me. That's why I understand now when you see some man just, you know, give away them life, you know, just to end something, you know. Yeah? Because with that, me see right now can destroy where I go on in Jamaica. We have some people with the man them brainwash, you know, with handout goodies bag, you know, and backdoor deal money, you know. And then people go around and spread the narrative. The man them waste billions of Jamaican tax money for the past couple of elections for nasty bloggers like Gigas and them rest there, Trapper John and the whole of them. You know what money them get out of Jamaica? Some unqualified people. And now when you look, you see people who are in need can't get nothing. And look, instead of the man bring, you know, some form of comfort to the people, you unleash soldier, because I tell you, Andrew will always put the soldier out there at any least cost because him have that military mindset. Yeah, him going at the Middle East, go encapsulate that. Him have that military mindset. Him have a paper where him a work off. My Jamaican people need to know that. When him go Israelite, him go for. You understand? How to suppress your people, how to have your people in a situation where them can't move away from you. How you deal with them. It's like a kite you fly, you haul it in and you let it out. You haul it in, you let it out. And when you're ready to let it go, you cut the thread. And that Andrew do. I yield back the floor, my brother.
All right, there it is. So, of course, people, we are going to be on Titans later, and I know you people will be tuning in, right? Please tune in on Titan later. Melting Pot will be there. Mystic Sensation will be there. All right? So, I am going to ask Wifey to close us out. Wifey?
Okay, thank you guys so much for your continued support. We do not take that for granted, so really appreciate everyone tuning in. And Melting Pot, thank you so much for your insight.
All right.
And your contribution to the discussion. Really appreciate you each and every time. So guys, I just want to say blessings and continue praying and reaching out to our less fortunate brothers and sisters in Jamaica who are in dire straits right now. We have to continue to try and do everything that we can to give an helping hand, because the elements are upon them right now and many people don't know where to turn. They're out in the elements with their families and don't know what the next move is going to be. So let us continue to just reach out and give an helping hand. And with that said, blessings to each and everyone. Safe travel on the gravel.
All right, Melting Pop, big up yourself. All right,
my brother.
Later.
Yeah, man.
So why you come to me with that foolishness, you know? You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right start that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.